This story takes place in Yangzhou City on May 20, 2024. Like in all MMORPG games and Manhwa, a huge purple portal suddenly opened in the sky. A loud announcement echoed, warning that another space rift had appeared above Yangzhou. Monsters emerged from the portal and began attacking the citizens. In response, a team of humans with superpowers, much like the Avengers, arrived to confront the monsters. They were the 3rd Division of the Korean Defense Force, known as Hunters. These hunters possessed abilities such as super strength, super speed, elemental control, and more. The hunters joined the battlefield and began eliminating the monsters with ease, quickly gaining the upper hand. However, the tide of the battle shifted when a gold-tier monster appeared, the Wolf King of the 6-eared wolf tribe. After killing a powerful hunter, it turned to the humans and declared, "These insignificant humans are still resisting? Wiping you out is only a matter of time." With those words, it joined the fray, slaughtering human soldiers like ants. Nothing survived in the path of its claws. The leader of the hunters was shocked, questioning whether this was a high-level portal. The Wolf King laughed and mockingly replied to the leader. It was too late for her to understand now, but before they could engage in a battle of life and death, someone with incredible speed suddenly appeared. It was a high-ranking official who ordered the 3rd Division Hunter Group to leave the battle to him and focus on handling the others. The new high-ranking officer was Mr. Wenyuan, and just seeing him there motivated all the hunters. Then, the battle between the Wolf King and Mr. Wenyuan began. After clearing the portal, the 3rd Division Hunter leader returned to report to her superior. She informed him that, with Mr. Wenyuan's help, they successfully defeated the invading 6-eared demon wolf tribe. Her superior praised her efforts, but expressed concern about the emergence of yet another new rift, and it was still only a C-Class 1. This marked the 6th rift in the past 10 years, which was alarming. At this rate, Jiangzhou wouldn't hold out much longer. However, this situation was beyond their control. The superior announced that starting this year, Wuda Martial Academy would exempt awakened individuals from cultural exams, and the academic admission score for martial artists had been cut in half. He then ordered the 3rd Division Hunter leader to visit the academy and check on their progress. Since then, the story shifts to the Martial Academy. As the bell rang and the first class was dismissed, a boy looked at his friend, who was lost in his daydreams, and asked, "Why weren't you paying attention again? If you fail to get into Wuda Academy because of low academic scores, won't that be embarrassing?" Still in his dream world, his friend replied, "How great would it be to sit next to a beauty like Yanran?" The one he was talking about was Lin Yanran, the top beauty of the academy. She had everyone's attention, but all of hers was focused on our protagonist, who was seated next to her. Yunran smiled at him and asked, "Since graduation is approaching soon, are you planning to go to the Literary Academy or Wuda Academy?" Our protagonist Su Bai, who was engrossed in his books, replied, "I don't know." He explained that if he went to the Literary Academy, his grades were just average. Besides, he added, in these chaotic times, what use is there for foreign languages and advanced mathematics? And if I go to Wuda Academy, my family isn't well off enough to afford all the supplements. Plus, he had no special abilities or talents. Subai wondered to himself where he should go. He was frustrated, thinking, since I've crossed into another world, shouldn't there be some kind of fate-altering chance or awakened system? Yes, you heard that right. He was from another world, but he was starting to doubt whether he had even truly transmigrated. Yanran, with her gentle voice, called out to Subai, suggesting, "Why don't you join me in applying for the Literary Academy? I have a way to guarantee your admission." "What?" Subai asked in shock, his voice rising. Keep your voice down," Yanran said, glancing around. Just as she finished speaking, a system window suddenly popped up in front of Subai's eyes. He was stunned. "What is this? It just appeared out of nowhere," he muttered in shock. The system was bound to Subai as its host. The window displayed his stats. Species: ordinary. Initial stage level: 18. Age: 18. Physique: 4. Agility: 5. Mental strength: 5. It also revealed his trait: trainer. This meant that Subai could designate any living being as his trainee, and the system would automatically detect suitable candidates. His current trainable number was... Finally, the system unveiled his talent: evolution. This extraordinary ability allowed him to infinitely evolve all his contracted trainees, with no upper limit to level progression. It even enabled them to break through racial limits. Subai stared at the screen, overwhelmed. His ordinary life might not be so ordinary anymore. The hidden value and talent abilities of the trainee would provide feedback to the host. The higher the trainee's level, the greater the feedback ratio. Currently, the known levels were divided as follows: ordinary, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, laurel tier, mid-tier, and divine. Each level was further split into initial, intermediate, and advanced stages. Seeing this information, Subai realized that this system belonged to him. It was his. Yanran, noticing Subai staring blankly into the air, looked puzzled. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice filled with concern. Her reaction snapped him out of his thoughts. He quickly understood that no one else could see the system but him. Trying to appear normal, Subai grabbed Yanran's hand and reassured her, "I'm fine." Yanran blushed at his touch, but the boys in the class immediately erupted in anger. "Get your filthy hands off our goddess," they yelled in unison. "You're already sitting next to her, and now this? Have you no shame?" one of them shouted. A particularly furious boy stood up and pointed at Subai. "Subai, watch how I'll teach you a lesson." Before things could escalate, a super hot teacher entered the classroom and firmly stopped him. "Enough. Everyone, calm down," she said, her voice sharp but authoritative. The boys instantly fell silent, captivated by her presence. With the room finally quiet, the teacher smiled and addressed the class. "I have some good news to share. Jiangzhou Martial Academy just announced on their website that starting with your class, awakened individuals are exempt from cultural exams and can directly enroll in the academy. Furthermore, students with preliminary martial artist physiques will have their academic requirements reduced by half." Hearing the announcement, the entire class erupted in joy. Everyone jumped with happiness, cheering at the thought that they now had a much better chance of getting into Wude Academy. As the students began to leave, the teacher called out, "Anyone who has already awakened abilities or has a martial foundation, please come to my office to register." Hearing this, Subai thought to himself, "This is getting interesting. I've just awakened my abilities and now I'm already exempt from exams to enter Wuda Academy." Noticing Subai lost in thought, Yanran glanced at him curiously. Could he really be considering Wuda Academy? She wondered. The scene then shifted outside. Subai was walking home, blending in like an ordinary high school student. On the surface, he looked completely normal, but there was something about him that set him apart from everyone else. Subai was originally not world.he, had been transmigrated into this strange world 17 years ago. On September 18, 1906, a massive space rift suddenly appeared in the sky. From the rift emerged countless strange beasts, creatures unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Soon after, these ferocious beasts rampaged across the land, spreading chaos and destruction. Armies from various countries united to battle the alien creatures. After 3 grueling months, the beasts that had emerged from the rift were finally eliminated. However, the rift itself remained, and periodically new batches of alien beasts would pour out of it. In response, humanity decided to take proactive measures. Death squads were sent into the rifts to explore the mysterious phenomenon. What they discovered was a vast, boundless land beyond the rifts. Realizing that the rifts were the source of the alien beasts, the military forces of various countries decided to construct military bases within the rifts, their mission to defend humanity by stopping the beasts at their origin. Thus, a new era for humanity began. On March 6, 1907, the second sky rift appeared. On May 7, 1907, the third rift emerged, followed by the fourth and then the fifth. In the following century, humanity adapted to a world where sky rifts became a constant threat, marking a new chapter in human history. The number of rifts increased and their appearances became more frequent. Now, rifts have spread across the globe, each harboring different alien beast species. Scientists named the battlegrounds behind the sky rifts the battlefield of 10,000 races. Meanwhile, Earth's spiritual energy began to recover and humans gradually awakened martial abilities and supernatural powers. As the battles intensified, conventional weapons frequently failed on the battlefield, while the power of awakened individuals grew. Eventually, these individuals replaced traditional weapons as the dominant force. The war between humanity and the 10,000 races continues to this day. Judging from the reforms at Jiangzhou Martial Academy, Su Bai could feel that the situation in Jiangzhou had become quite dire. He thought to himself, since I've got this system now, I might as well use it to protect my family in this chaotic world. He knew that if he wanted to quickly enhance his strength, the fastest way would be through the military-supported martial academies. Lucky for him, he had awakened the trainer ability. With just one trained beast, he could get into the academy without taking the exam. Thinking about all of this, he headed home. His first step was to get into Wu Die Academy. Looking at his balance, he hoped that the 2,000 yuan he had saved over the years would be enough. When he entered a beast shop, there was no immediate reaction from the system. Su Bai was confused, as the system had said it would automatically detect something suitable for him, so why was there no response? The shop staff welcomed him and asked how she could help. Su Bai told her that he was a beast trainer and asked what kinds of beasts they had. Pointing to a black cat, the staff member said, "It's pretty ordinary but high-priced. It has the bloodline of a nether cat." "It can easily reach the silver rank," the staff member said, selling for 36,000. Su Bai was shocked by how expensive one ordinary black cat was. The staff member then showed him a 4-eared dog. It has the bloodline of the 6-eared demon wolf, selling for just 33,000. One after another, she showed him many beasts, and with every beast, the price kept increasing. The staff member then turned to Su Bai, asking, "Which one do you think is best for you?" But when she turned around, Su Bai was nowhere to be found. He had left the shop thinking, "Are they robbing me? Just because it has a little beast bloodline, it's this expensive? And where's my system? Isn't there anything suitable for me here?" Disappointed, he returned home. Just as he entered, a system notification appeared detected a suitable beginner taming creature, little turtle. The system then asked him, "If you want to tame," Su Bai was surprised that the system was finally responding. When he saw the little turtle's name, he turned to look at his dad's pet turtle, wondering if the system was talking about it. Immediately, the turtle's information popped up. Beast name Little Turtle, level common. Initial stage bloodline traces of the Xuanwu turtle bloodline growth can grow infinitely, eventually slaying gods. Constitution, defense, spirit, speed, 2 ability turtle shell defense evolution method eating. Su Bai was shocked to see that his little turtle had profound, limitless growth, ultimately leading to the slaying of gods. He jumped in happiness, shouting, "Xuanwu bloodline, now that's more like it. How much would this be worth? I'm not trading it." No matter what, he was extremely happy. But his happiness didn't last long. Making so much noise, his sister Su Shu-e came out of her room. When she saw him holding the little turtle like that, she angrily shouted, "Su Bai, what are you planning to do with little 8? That's Dad's treasure." Su Bai quickly let go of the turtle and told her that he hadn't done anything. Just as he let go of the turtle, it immediately jumped into the grocery bag. It ate all the food from the bag in an instant. Both Su Bai and his sister were shocked seeing this little glutton. Su Xie asked Su Bai, "Why is this turtle eating so much? We just fed it this morning." Seeing the turtle devouring the food, Su Bai remembered the system notification and understood that his little turtle's appetite had increased, possibly due to evolving. He told his sister that he was going to find it some more food. Half an hour later, Su Bai's mother and father came home. They were shocked by the condition of the house and asked Su Bai if it had been robbed. In just half an hour, the little turtle had eaten all the food from the house and was now chasing Su Xie for her last snack. Su Bai's father was too shocked and asked, "Is this our little turtle? Can turtles run this fast?" Su Bai then explained what was happening. The whole house had been turned upside down in just half an hour. This situation made Su Bai think that his mom and dad were already having a hard time as it was. He decided it would be better not to tell them that little 8 was a bottomless pit. He decided to figure this out on his own. On the other hand, after eating everything in the house, the little turtle finally stopped. Su Xie was very angry with it, but as the little turtle was satisfied, something unexpected happened. Suddenly, a huge robotic turtle form emerged from its body. Su Bai was shocked and asked, "Is this glutton finally full? Or is it about to awaken its bloodline?" The scene then shifts to the next day. Little Turtle's explosive growth came and went. But the Xuanwu bloodline still hadn't awakened, and Little Turtle had started eating even more. That's why Subai had come back to the pet shop again. As he entered, he saw that there were already 2 customers inside. When the shop staff saw Subai, she asked if he had decided on something. He told her that he wasn't here to buy this time. Moving closer to the staff member, he whispered, "I have exotic beast blood. Are you guys buying?" The staff member was shocked and asked him to confirm if he really had exotic beast blood. When one of the customers overheard the words beast blood, he immediately excused himself and walked over to Subai. The man was the boss of the shop. He told the staff member to leave it to him and go take care of something else. The boss then approached Subai and said, "Young man, come this way. Let's sit down and have a chat. You said you have exotic beast blood. Do you mind if I examine it?" Subai handed over the beast blood and said, "Go ahead." When the pet shop boss smelled the blood Subai gave him, he was shocked. "It's really exotic beast blood and high quality too," he exclaimed. The boss then asked, "How much do you want for it?" Subai thought for a moment. After all, it took a lot of effort to draw even that small amount of blood from Little Turtle. It had to be worth at least $100, right? But before Subai could say a $100, the shop owner offered him $1,000. "What, $1,000? Subai responded, shocked. Seeing Subai's reaction, the shop owner misunderstood, thinking Subai was angry about the low price. "I know how much it's really worth," the owner laughed, trying to ease the tension. "It's such a high-quality product. Of course it's worth $10,000. In shock, Subai shouted, "What? $10,000? The shop owner, once again, misunderstanding, thought Subai was upset about such a low offer and quickly raised the price to $15,000. Subai, stunned, covered his mouth in disbelief, thinking, "Who would have guessed that Little Turtle is so valuable? It's getting difficult to stop my smile from showing." Turning around to hide his excitement, Subai said, "Fine, it's a deal. If not for the fact that I need the money, I really wouldn't want to sell it at all." After sealing the deal, he left the shop. The shop owner personally walked him out, saying, "Take care, young friend. If you come across such good stuff again, you're always welcome to look for me," the shop owner called out as Subai walked away. Looking at his balance, Subai couldn't help but feel extremely happy. He never thought that exotic beast blood would be worth so much. 15,000 just fell into his lap like that. Little Turtle can be proud of itself this time. As he walked, Subai's phone suddenly rang. It was Teacher Lee. She told him that the results for cultural studies had just been released, and there was also an important... She asked him to please drop by the school that afternoon to fill out his application form and not to be late. Subai tried to ask Teacher Lee what the important announcement was, but she simply told him to come to school and find out. Subai waited for a response, but there was no reply. Well, it wasn't that she didn't reply. It was because of Subai's crappy phone, which had no signal, again. While talking, Subai didn't notice that he had walked into an alleyway. Suddenly, a system warning notification popped up in front of Subai, telling him that there were 3 people with great ill. They were currently within 10 meters, and he was advised to be cautious. Enemy 1's level beginner cultivator, enemy 2's level ordinary person, enemy 3's lev ordinary person. Subai was shocked when he saw the notification. When he turned around, he saw 3 men already standing behind him, each holding a weapon. Subai realized that he had been marked by thugs. The leader of the thugs was the same man Subai had seen in the pet shop talking to the shop owner. The thug leader sneered at Subai and ordered him to hand over his things. Judging from the attitude of the boss at the exotic pet shop, Subai was furious. Why am I so unlucky? He thought the thugs clearly believed he must have something valuable on him. He told them, "I went into the exotic pet shop to sell something, not to buy," but Subai had no intention of handing over any money. He thought, "If it's just a beginner cultivator level, I do stand a chance." The thug leader sneered and demanded, "Just hand over the money." Then Subai, pretending to comply, said, "Fine, I'll hand over the money." He reached into his bag and pulled out Little Turtle, instructing it, "Retract into your shell." Immediately, Little Turtle withdrew into its shell, and with a swift motion, Subai threw it like a rock at the thug leader. The thug leader, furious, swung his baseball bat to defend against the unexpected attack. "You little bastard," he shouted, but before. The thug leader tried to react, but Subai was faster. With a swift move, he kicked the thug leader in the balls, causing him to collapse to the ground in pain, unable to recover. The other thugs were stunned, their eyes wide as they saw their leader crumple in agony. Furious, they charged after Subai, shouting, "How dare you touch my boss!" Subai wasted no time and with Little Turtle still in his bag, sprinted away, the thugs hot on his heels. As they ran, Subai called out to Little Turtle, "Did the baseball bat hurt you?" Little Turtle replied, "It just felt itchy." Little Turtle couldn't speak human language, but Subai now understood its intentions. As the two thugs closed in, Subai quickly instructed Little Turtle to latch onto his fist without hesitation. Little Turtle attached itself, turning into an impromptu boxing glove. Subai swung, landing a powerful punch to one thug's face, sending him flying without pausing. He turned and slammed the other thug's face into the ground. The thug leader, still in pain, managed to stagger to his feet. "Little bastard, I'm gonna kill you," he shouted, his voice full of fury. Seeing the thug leader rise, Subai immediately ordered Little Turtle to retreat into its shell. In an instant, Little Turtle concealed itself and Subai, gathering all his strength, threw it at the thug leader with incredible force. The impact knocked the thug down in a single blow. After taking down all the thugs, Subai grabbed his bag and gave them one final warning. "Don't mess with me." However, just as he was about to leave, he noticed Little Turtle searching through the thug leader's belongings. It found a small bottle and eagerly began drinking from it. Seeing this, Subai rushed over to Little Turtle, shouting, "What are you eating? Did you find something good?" He quickly snatched the bottle from Little Turtle's hands to examine it. The bottle contained a QI blood potion, worth tens of thousands, a rare item that could help cultivators enhance their strength over a month, yet Little Turtle had consumed the entire bottle in one go. Subai grew worried, wondering if Little Turtle could even digest such a powerful potion. But his concern quickly turned to surprise, not because of Little Turtle, but because his own body suddenly began to glow as well. Subai felt a surge of power coursing through him, a strong sense of becoming stronger. He quickly checked his status window. To his amazement, he was now at the mid-stage of the ordinary level hunter rank. His level had increased, along with that of his tamed beast. His constitution had risen to 16, with the base attribute value at 10 points, and he had inherited 6 additional attribute points from his tamed beasts. Now he had 2 talents. The first was evolution. The tamed beast could undergo unlimited evolution, with no limit to its potential grade. Subai was astonished to see the remarkable effects of the QI blood potion. His attributes had increased so significantly, and he had even gained a new talent. He read through the details in his status window. The evolution talent meant his tamed beast could evolve without limits, even reaching the mythical grade. The higher the grade of the beast, the greater the attributes and talents inherited by Subai. The second talent, Turtle Skin Defense, consumed a certain amount of physical energy to activate. When triggered, a layer of turtle skin would cover Subai's body, significantly enhancing his defense. What amazed him even more was that while only he had leveled up, his little turtle had leveled up as well. The turtle's grade had reached the mid-stage ordinary level. The Xuanwu bloodline had not yet fully awakened, but once the beast reached the bronze grade, its bloodline would partially activate, greatly increasing its attributes. From its previous average attributes of 2, Little Turtle's stats had improved dramatically. Its constitution had reached 32, defense 38, and both agility and spirit were now 10. Little Turtle now had 2 talents. The first was Turtle Shell Defense, where its entire body would retract into its shell, forming a defensive posture that boosted its defense by 300%. However, while in this state, Little Turtle couldn't move or attack. The second talent was Turtle Skin Defense, which consumed a certain amount of physical energy and increased defense by 50% to 100%. Subai was stunned as he saw Little Turtle's body grow bigger and its attributes soar, reaching a constitution of 32 and defense of 38. He remembered learning in class that even high-stage ordinary grade power-type beasts usually had attributes around 30, so he couldn't imagine how strong Little Turtle would be once its bloodline fully awakened. Even without that, it was already incredibly powerful. Little Turtle was quite proud of its newfound strength. Subai picked it up and said, "All right, you've had your fill. Let's leave this place quickly." The scene then shifted to the school. Teacher Lee announced that the results for cultural studies had been released and she would be consolidating students' application intentions. She then made an important announcement: a special recruitment teacher from Wu University would be visiting the school to evaluate candidates with special abilities. Just like last year, there would be 2 guaranteed admission spots. While filling out the application, Yanren asked Su-bai if he had decided, asking if he was applying for Wen College or Wu University. Su-bai confidently responded that it was Wu University, stating that he must get in. Yanren was shocked and asked, Su-bai, didn't I tell you to apply for Wen College with me? Those who enter Wu University have to step into the battlefield. Do you know how dangerous that is? But Su-bai simply smiled and said, someone has to go to the battlefield, and that suits me just fine. Looking at Yanren, he added, the reason I'm going to the front lines is to protect someone important to me. Su-bai was talking about his family, but Yanren misunderstood, thinking, could it be that Su-bai is talking about me? Just then, a teacher approached Yanren and asked which academy she was applying to. Yanren didn't answer right away. Seeing her hesitation, Su-bai thought she probably hasn't awakened any special abilities and has never trained physically, so she'll most likely choose Wen College. After a moment of thought, Yanren told the teacher that she hadn't made up her mind yet and wanted to think about it a little longer. Teacher Lai then told the students that this was a crucial decision for each of them. She advised them to take their results home and discuss the matter with their parents. The final application intentions had to be submitted by midnight. After class, everyone returned home. Yanren, while taking a bath, called Su-bai blushing. She told him that she had decided to also apply to Wu University. Su-bai, who was cleaning his house, was surprised to hear that Yanren had chosen Wu University. He asked if she was joking. Yanren assured him that she had made up her mind and that she wanted to surprise him. While they were talking, Su-bai noticed Little Turtle stealing food again. He quickly told Yanren that he had something important to do and would talk to her later. As soon as he ended the call, he shouted at the good-for-nothing Little Turtle for eating so much. The scene then shifts to the next day. All the students gathered in the stadium. Teacher Li stood on stage and warmly welcomed military martial arts instructor Zhang, who was also the principal and a senior member of the school. Instructor Zhang stepped up to the stage and addressed the students. 1 year ago, 126 people entered this school. 65 of them are still alive. 2 years ago, 98 people entered and only 32 are still alive. 3 years ago, 86 people entered and just 11 of them are still alive. The students were shocked and frightened. Instructor Zhang explained that he wasn't saying this to scare them but to help them understand that being here was not something to be proud of. They would soon face numerous challenges, duty, responsibility, and danger. Instructor Zhang continued, you are here to protect your country. Wu Dai is a place where the strong are cultivated. Do you want to be among their ranks? Yes, all the students shouted in unison. Instructor Zhang smiled and said, very good. I look forward to your performances in the examination. After the speech, all the students began returning to their classes, but Teacher Lai called Su-bai over to stop him. Teacher Li and Instructor Zhang approached him. Su-bai, confused, asked if there was an issue. Instructor Zhang asked, are you Su-bai? Yes, that's me, Su-bai replied. Instructor Zhang then informed him that a space had been reserved for him at Wu Da. He told Su-bai to head there immediately and prepare for the entrance examination. Su-bai was shocked a broke guy like him had a reserve spot. Instructor Zhang confirmed and said, there's a vehicle waiting for you at the school entrance. Everyone around them was shocked by the news of Su-bai's reserve space. Some students murmured about favoritism, while others were jealous and wished they were in his shoes. Su-bai took the bus and arrived at Wu Da Academy with other students. Everyone was amazed to see the grandeur of the Wu Da Academy. An instructor was already waiting at the entrance and instructed the students to follow him. As they walked, the students noticed a massive rock pillar standing in the middle of the academy. The instructor explained that it was the school's motto. Su-bai was in awe of the grand symbol. The instructor then led them to collect their uniforms and took them to the dormitories. Upon arriving at the male dormitories, the instructor informed them that they could rest for a while and change into their uniforms. He added that someone would soon announce the time for the examination. Su-bai then went to his room, number 303, and as he approached, he heard a voice from inside saying, in the early stages of martial arts training, resources are the most important. Su-bai announced his arrival, but there was no response. Inside, there were 3 roommates. A red-haired boy, Han Jaigang, took out a bottle and proudly said, my father managed to purchase 3 drops of extremely rare monster blood from Yu Mountain. He had an experienced pharmacist turn it into 3 bottles of top-quality medicine. This isn't something you see every day. The other 2 boys were amazed, one asking, is this what a rare monster's blood looks like? I've never seen anything like that. The second boy added, I've bought similar products, but it's my first time seeing something like this. At that moment, Su-bai entered the room and introduced himself as the new occupant of dormitory 303. Han Gang looked up and said, "So you're Su-bai? Everyone's here." He then introduced the other two boys as Tao Jiajun and Fan Kon. Su-bai replied, "It's nice to meet you all." Han Gang smiled and reassured him, saying, "No need to be so polite, we're dormmates." After all, he then asked Su-bai to take a look at the rare monster's blood. Proudly, Han Gang explained that his father had sent people all over the country to acquire it. When Su-bai heard Yu Mountain and 3 drops, he wondered if it could be the same blood he had sold to the pet shop owner. Curious, he asked Han Gang, "Such rare blood must have been expensive, right?" Han Gang shrugged and said, "Not really. Each drop only cost around 30,000, so not even 100,000 in total. It's practically spare change." Hearing that the rare monster blood had been sold for 90,000, Su-bai became furious. "That slimy bastard. I sold it for 30,000, and he sold it off for 100 damn middlemen," he muttered, fuming. While they were talking, a commotion suddenly erupted outside. Students in the dormitory were going crazy after seeing a super beautiful girl downstairs. One guy commented, "I'm voting for her in this year's beauty contest. That figure, those legs, she's our goddess." When the warden of the men's dormitory saw the girl, he approached her and asked, "Who are you looking for?" "This is the men's dormitory." Su-bai's roommates were equally stunned by the girl's appearance. "Wu Da really is something. She's amazing," they murmured. "But why is she here?" The girl they were talking about was none other than Yanren, Su-bai's future fiancée. She told the warden, "I'm looking for Su-bai." The warden turned toward the dormitory and shouted, "Su-bai." The warden shouted, "If there's a Su-bai, come out. There's a pretty girl waiting for you downstairs." Hearing this, Han Jin and the others looked back in surprise, realizing that it was their roommate Su-bai the pretty girl was looking for. They were all stunned. How could the school's beauty be looking for him? It didn't make sense to them. Fan Kao commented, "Brother Su-bai might be more than he seems." When Su-bai went downstairs, Yanren complimented him, saying, "Su-bai, that uniform suits you." She moved closer to him and adjusted his clothes, adding, "Now you look even more handsome." Su-bai blushed, flustered by how close she was. As Yanren helped him adjust his clothes, all the boys in the dormitory became incredibly jealous, shouting, "Die, you bastard. Don't lay a finger on our goddess." Yanren then mentioned the reserve spot and asked, "You're not angry, right?" Su-bai told her, "I'm not angry, but I had planned to take the test myself." He gently patted her head and added, "Still, you did it for me, so thank you." Yanren laughed, saying, "I was worried you'd be angry, but instead you're thanking me." She then handed him a bag and said, "The entrance exam is the day after next. I prepared some pills for you." Su-bai was surprised and told Yanren that she had already helped him enough and should save those things for herself. However, Yanren ignored his protest, said goodbye, and ran away. Back at the dormitory, the other students were furious and exclaimed, "Who is this guy? Did he touch her head? Find out who he is. He's clearly fighting for her heart." When Su-bai returned to his room, Han Jin and the others began calling him brother with newfound respect, which surprised him. They started massaging him and asking about the mysterious girl. Who was that goddess, they inquired. Confused, Su-bai asked, "What goddess?" While massaging him, Jinjin said, "Brother, you're too humble. We're talking about the goddess you were just speaking to." Su-bai explained that they were high school classmates. Hearing this, Han Jin leaned in close and said, "Brother Su, since we're dormmates, I'm sure you could convince that goddess to bring some of her friends over." Su-bai hesitated to reply. Seeing his hesitation, Han Jin suggested, "Since it's Su-bai's first time meeting us, we should take him out for a good dinner and have a chat." Without waiting for Su-bai's response, they finalized the plan and told him to rest up and get ready to go out at night. Then they all left the room. Watching them decide everything on their own, Su-bai chuckled to himself and said, "These brothers are really interesting." He then picked up his bag and took out the little turtle, telling it to come out and get some fresh air. Afterward, he checked the bag Yanren had given him. Inside, he found a blood essence potion. The moment the little turtle saw the potion, its eyes lit up with excitement. Seeing the turtle's reaction, Su-bai laughed mischievously and asked, "Do you know what you need to do after eating this?" The little turtle, terrified by Su-bai's demonic expression, shrank back nervously. Later that evening, Su-bai and his 3 roommates went to a hotel together. Seeing the hotel, Su-bai asked Han Jin, "Don't you think coming to such a high-end place is a bit too much?" Han Jin laughed and replied, "Just focus on enjoying yourself and leave the rest to your brothers." Once they were seated in the room, Han Jin raised his glass and said, "I, Han Jin, feel extremely lucky to have met you brothers here at Wu Da, especially someone as amazing as Brother Su. A toast to all of you." Su-bai gestured for them to sit and said, "Since we're all dormmates, there's no need to be so formal." After everyone settled down, Subai told Han Jin, Lin Yanren and I were high school classmates, so I should be able to get her to introduce some of her friends. But we can talk about that in the future. Then Subai turned to Han Jin and said, actually, I need your help with something. Han Jin asked curiously, what do you need help with? Subai took out a vial of red blood potion and placed it on the table. It's not a big deal, really. I just have some rare monster blood, and I'd like you to help me. Both Jiajun and Fan Kao were shocked to see the potion. Looking at it, Jiajun remarked, Han Jin, Brother Su's monster blood seems to be of even better quality than yours. Han Jin examined the potion carefully and said to Subai, this blood is better than anything I've ever seen. Han Jin then took out his smartphone and said, this blood is way too rare. I'll call my father now and have him send someone over. Subai quickly interjected, there's no rush, let's have our meal first. But Han Jin had already dialed the number. When his father answered, he immediately started nagging, Little Jin, you've blown through your pocket money again. I sent you to Wuda to grow stronger, not waste your time and money. Han Jin cut him off and said, I'm not asking for money, Dad. This is serious. Han Jin continued, my classmate has 7 drops of precious, rare monster blood that he wants to sell. It's even better quality than the 3 drops you got last time. I couldn't decide on a price. What? 7 drops? His father exclaimed in shock. Are you sure it's better quality than what I got before? Han Jin replied confidently. Why don't you come and see for yourself? Hearing his son's certainty, his father said, all right, send me your address. I'll send Master Kao over immediately, Han Jin's father said. An hour later, Han Jin's father arrived with Master Kao. When Master Kao examined Subai's monster blood, he remarked in awe, this is simply exquisite. This is the purest monster blood I've ever seen, with the highest energy content. I could create incredible things with this. Han Jin's father, skeptical, asked, Master Cao, aren't you exaggerating a bit? Master Cao shook his head firmly. Not at all. Even if I used the best equipment available, the value of this blood would only increase. Han Jin was amazed and exclaimed, damn! Brother Su, who knew your monster blood was this overpowered? Master Tao approached Subai with respect and said, young man, what's your price for this monster blood? Subai replied calmly, my friend said this blood can't be sold for money. It can only be exchanged for blood essence of equivalent value. Hearing this, Han Jin's father spoke up. Subai, since you're classmates with Little Jin and I'm your senior, I wouldn't dream of shortchanging you. I'll take it all and give you 14 bottles of blood essence in return. How does that sound? Han Jin's father asked Subai, agreed, and thanked him. Han Jin's father smiled and then asked, Subai, would you consider joining the Han family? We would provide you with resources for free. Subai thanked Han Jin's father for the generous offer, but replied, I'm not planning on joining any family for now. Han Jin's father frowned slightly and said, you should reconsider. He began to put pressure on Subai to change his mind. Suddenly, a loud voice came from outside. It was Yanran. She opened the door and said firmly, Subai already said he doesn't want to join any family, so no one is allowed to force him. Her anger was evident as she glared at Han Jin's father. Do you understand? She asked sharply. Subai was surprised to see Yanran there and asked, Yanran, why are you here? Yanran replied, I came to settle my own issues but didn't expect to run into you here. Seeing Yanran's attitude, Han Jin's father became angry, but before he could say anything, Master Chow stepped in to stop him. Recognizing Yanran, Master Chow leaned toward Han Jin's father and whispered about her background. Han Jin's father's expression changed instantly. Shocked and scared, he looked at Yanran with newfound respect and decided to back down. Han Jin's father immediately explained to Yanran, it's just a misunderstanding. Subai and my son are classmates and good friends. Hearing this, Yanran calmed down and turned to Subai, asking, are you heading back to school? Let's go together. Since Subai had finished his business, he agreed. He bid farewell to everyone and left with Yanran. As they were leaving, Han Jin called out from behind, "Yanran, I'm going back to school too." He was about to follow them, but his father stopped him. Han Jin's father said firmly, "Han Jin, focus on building a good relationship with Subai. The future of our Han family might rest in his hands, but as for Lin Yanran, make sure to maintain a very safe and respectful distance from her." Han Jin was stunned. He hadn't realized that both his brother Su and the goddess Yanran were truly that remarkable. 2 days later, at the military training field of Marshall University, all the freshmen gathered on the university ground. Instructor Zhang addressed the students, saying, "Over the next few days, all of you will participate in freshman special training. The location for this training is the battlefield of all races." Hearing this, the students were instantly filled with dread. Many murmured among themselves, asking if they were really going to train at such a dangerous place. "Failing the training is one thing," one student whispered, "but losing our lives is far worse." Instructor Zhang saying, "Don't worry, the area designated for this training has already been cleared by us, and the institutions will ensure your safety." He continued, "Next, you will be divided into classes of 50. Each class will be led by a bronze-level instructor who will act as your homeroom teacher. The homeroom teacher will assign you your training tasks. I wish all of you a victorious return." After the announcement, Yanran came running to Subai, her face glowing with excitement. She exclaimed, "Subai, did you hear that?" Yanran excitedly told Subai, "We've been assigned to the same class." Hearing this, Subai smiled and asked, "Did you arrange this on purpose?" While they were talking, a female instructor suddenly appeared and called out, "Class 8, gather up!" Class 8 was the group that included Yanran Subai and his roommates. The red-haired instructor introduced herself as Liao Yushin, their special training instructor. All the boys in the group were in awe, going crazy over how stunningly beautiful she was. Instructor Liao addressed the students, saying, "I will be the one assigning all your training tasks. And your first task..." She paused for effect. The students were stunned into silence. Then a wave of shocked murmurs broke out. Instructor Liao continued in a calm, authoritative tone. "You have 1 day to write your wills. Be at the teleport plaza by 8 a.m. tomorrow. From there, we will depart for the battlefield of all races." Panic swept through the group. One student nervously asked, "Is there really a risk to our lives? I mean, I still want to carry on the family line." Another muttered in resignation, "Forget it. I'm going to write my will." One of the students sighed. "There's so much I need to leave for my parents." Hearing the instructor's words, Yanran turned to Subai and asked, "Do you have any plans?" Subai replied, "I don't have much to prepare, so I'll head back to the dorm first." While both Yanran and Subai remained calm and relaxed, Han Jin and the others were clearly worried. They were heading to the battlefield tomorrow, and there was still so much to get ready. When everyone returned to the dormitory, Han Jin called Subai and said, "Since we're heading to the battlefield tomorrow, I'm taking the boys out for a good time tonight." Han Jin invited Subai to join them, but Subai replied, "I have things to do, so I won't be joining. You guys go ahead and have fun." Han Jin understood and said, "All right." Just then, he noticed Subai's little turtle eating in a corner. He petted the little turtle and said, "Brother Su, your little pet turtle is something. Its shell is really tough." Subai chuckled and replied, "His name is Little 8, but he's a bit of a glutton." Little Turtle, hearing that, glared at Subai, clearly displeased at being called a glutton. After that, Han Jin and the other 2 roommates left the room. Meanwhile, Little Turtle finished his plate and looked up at Subai, asking for more. Subai smiled and said, "Oh, you little glutton. All you think about is eating. Fine. I'll let you eat as much as you want today, but once we're on the battlefield of all races, you'd better perform well." He gave Little Turtle more blood essence, and the turtle immediately drank it down. Subai laughed and said, "Slow down, no one's gonna take it from you." As he was feeding the little turtle, suddenly a system notification popped up congratulating him. Because his pet, little turtle, had leveled up to a high-ranked ordinary exotic beast, Subai's level had increased as well. As a result, he had gained a new talent for little turtle called Heavy Strike. Subai opened the status window and saw that his tamed beast, Little Turtle, was now classified as a high-rank ordinary exotic beast. Its attributes had increased. Little Turtle's physical strength was now 64, defense was 78, agility was 20, and mental strength was 20. It now had 3 talents: Turtle Shell Defense, Turtle Skin Defense, and Heavy Strike. The new Heavy Strike talent consumed a certain amount of stamina, but increased attack power by 100% to 200%. The more stamina consumed, the stronger the attack. After that, Subai checked his status window and saw that he had also leveled up to high-rank ordinary. His physical strength was at 28, with 15 being base strength and 13 points inherited from the beast. His agility was 19, and his mental strength was 34. He now had 3 talents: Infinite Evolution, Turtle Skin Defense, and Heavy Strike. The new talent, Heavy Strike, was the same as Little Turtle's and consumed stamina to enhance attack. Subai was surprised and admitted that the Blood Essence sure was effective. Little 8 leveled up again, and the stat boosts were insane. He looked at Little Turtle and said, "Nice Little 8. When we get to the battlefield of all races, let's go all out together." Now both Subai and his little turtle were ready for the battlefield the next day. All the students gathered in the field. The instructors reported to the chief instructor that all trainees were geared up and ready for battle. Chief instructor Zhang arrived and ordered a soldier to open teleport formation 1 and prepare to teleport. The teleportation formation opened, ready to send the students to the battlefield of 10,000 beasts. Seeing such a huge The students were all amazed by the teleportation formation, saying only Marshall University has something like this. Yanrend was very worried about Subai and told him to be careful once they were on the battlefield of all races. Subai reassured her, telling her not to worry and that they would complete the mission safely. They wished each other good luck and approached the teleportation formation. Instructor Yu suggested that they relax their bodies and get ready to teleport. One by one, all the students entered the teleportation formation and arrived at the military base. They were surprised to see the military base inside the battlefield of all races. The sight was epic, and they got there in just a few seconds. Instructor Yu stood in attention and asked Group 8 to quiet down. She apologized to Lieutenant Hunter, saying they were just rookies who hadn't seen much. The man standing in front of her introduced himself. The Deputy Lieutenant of Military Base F-269 introduced himself and told the students that they could call him Deputy Lieutenant or Sir. He continued, saying, "Here, I don't care if you're a student or an instructor. On my turf, you follow my orders." He then asked if they understood, and everyone shouted, "Understood, sir." Seeing the lieutenant, Han Jin commented, "So what if he's a deputy lieutenant? What's the big deal?" Subai told him to take a look at the scar on the lieutenant's face, which showed that he was an experienced officer. The lieutenant informed the students that they were lucky today because his team had just returned from a battle. The students' first task would be to clean the battlefield. While clearing, they would also need to eliminate some remaining phantom cats. The lieutenant explained that it was the perfect job for rookies like them to get their first taste of battlefield experience. With a serious expression, he added that eliminating the phantom cats would earn them military merit points. At the logistics department, they could exchange those merit points for blood vitality powder and various grades of body tempering elixirs to strengthen themselves. Hearing this, Jijun became excited and said, "Truly, fortune comes with risk." Upon learning that they could exchange military merit points for elixirs, Han Jin remarked, "No wonder so many risked their lives to come to the Myriad Clan's battlefield." Seeing their relaxed attitudes, the lieutenant smiled and said, "You little brats look eager to give it a try. Good. Move out immediately, follow me." Everyone got excited to hear that. While following the lieutenant, Subai thought to himself that he needed to gather enough military merit points to exchange for those elixirs. That way Little 8 would have a feast as well. The lieutenant first led them to some injured soldiers and explained that these were the wounded, just back from the battlefield. Seeing the injured soldiers, Jiajun asked if they had all been injured while dealing with the phantom cats. Han Jin replied, "No way. Aren't phantom cats the weakest beasts? How could they be so terrifying?" Seeing the injured soldiers, some students became very scared and screamed, "Even the weakest phantom cats are this dangerous? How am I going to survive and make it home?" "Enough chatter," Instructor Yu shouted. She asked them if they thought the Myriad Clan's battlefield was a playground. Since they enrolled at Wuda, they must always be prepared to face danger. Yanran, visibly scared after seeing the injured soldiers, asked Subai to stay close to him once they were on the battlefield. She didn't want anything to happen to him. Subai understood the danger and decided to stay vigilant on the Myriad Clan's battlefield. He told Yanran to be careful as well. When they arrived at the gate, a soldier reported to the deputy commander that they were currently executing their assignment to guard the northern gate. Today we've killed 35 ferocious beasts that attacked the camp, the soldier reported. The lieutenant complimented them on their good work and ordered them to open the main gate, allowing the recruits to see what the Myriad Clan's battlefield truly was. At the deputy lieutenant's command, the soldiers opened the main gate. Instructor Yu told the students that with Deputy Commander Hunter leading the team, this was a rare opportunity. She urged them to perform well. "Understood, Instructor," everyone shouted. Seeing the students' energetic response, the lieutenant smiled and said, "Brats, you've all left your wills at the mail depot, right? Because from this moment on, you'll be constantly walking with death." When the main gate opened, the students saw soldiers fighting beasts. Han Jin, amazed, said, "Is this what a battlefield is like? How gruesome!" The soldiers fighting the beasts were part of the deputy lieutenant's team. Hearing the students' voices, a soldier looked back, saw their group, and approached. He saluted the captain and asked, "Why did you personally appear?" The lieutenant told him to stop talking and instructed him to assemble a team of soldiers to help protect the batch of students. The soldier replied, "Yes, sir," and left to gather the team. Instructor Yu explained to the students that next they would be heading to area F-260, a forest where most of the monsters had already been killed. Their mission was to retrieve monster cores from the Yumin cats there. After the explanation, the lieutenant stepped forward and shouted, "Rookies, are you ready?" "We're ready, sir," all the students replied in unison. Meanwhile, the soldiers gathered a strike force and were ordered to follow and protect the students. As they began moving, the leader of the strike team approached Instructor Yu and told her to relax, saying that clearing out a battlefield wasn't dangerous. He added that sending these newbies to the front lines would be like sending a bunch of nobodies, and he laughed, claiming it would be too wasteful. He then turned to Captain Fu and asked, "Why are you personally leading the team?" Captain Fu replied, "Strike team. Leader, you talk too much. Don't ask unnecessary questions," the captain snapped. Hearing this, the strike team leader stopped. Instructor Yu thanked Captain Fu for his help, to which Captain Fu replied, "It's nothing. These students are all warriors on the battlefield. It's my duty to protect them." Meanwhile, at Dedu, the highest military command post in all of Long, a soldier rushed to report an urgent issue to a senior officer. He handed over the latest report from the battlefield of all races. "A large horde of monsters has broken through our defenses," he informed the officer. Currently, 12 powerful individuals from the Yuming Cats tribe, all of them golden ranked, are attacking 12 military camps to the southwest, ranging from Dun 128 to Dun 140, the soldier reported. The senior officer instructed him, "Ascertain the direction the monsters are moving and send word to the other camps to prepare for an attack." The new students of Wuda are entering the battlefield to practice their skills. They are Long's future and must be protected at all costs. Meanwhile, in Area F-269, the students had arrived at the battlefield they were tasked with clearing. Instructor Yu addressed them. When clearing a battlefield, time is of the essence. Every minute you spend here is another minute you are in danger. Upon hearing this, everyone immediately got to work. Subai and Yanran were together when Yanran told him, "The hides, blood, flesh, claws, and teeth of these Yumin cats can be used to make weapons and medicines." Hearing this, Subai replied, "No wonder so many people would risk coming to such a dangerous place. There are rare materials everywhere. My little turtle will be eating well again." Looking at his inventory, Subai added, "I'll collect a few more cores and exchange them for blood spirit essence. That way, Little Turtle will level up again." However, as he was checking his inventory, a sudden system warning notification popped up. The system informed him extreme danger detected. 164 Yoming cats are rapidly approaching and are obviously hostile. Distance from threat 3 kilometers. Threat location, Southwest Forest. The threat is rated as a 5-star high-level threat with a 4-star life-threatening risk. Please remain on guard. The last time he received a warning like this warning was issued for a beginner-level martial artist, but now it's a 5-star life-threatening issue. Seeing Subai like that, Yenron asked, "What's wrong?" Subai didn't say anything, and immediately ran toward Instructor Yu, who was perched on a tree. He urgently told her, "Instructor Yu, there's an issue. I sense a large horde of monsters moving toward us from the southwest." Hearing Subai, Instructor Yu looked toward the southwest, but she saw nothing there. She descended from the tree, her expression turning stern, as she said, "Subai, this is a battlefield, not a playground. Do you realize what would happen if you caused a panic?" Subai tried to explain, his voice earnest. "I'm not joking. There really is a horde of monsters heading this way." Hearing the commotion, Captain Fu approached. He looked at Subai angrily and said, "Subai, you claim you can sense monsters, but I can guarantee there are none within a 2-kilometer radius." Subai tried again to explain to Captain Fu, his tone serious. "There are over 100 Yoming cats, 3 kilometers away, and they're coming toward us." But Captain Fu still didn't believe him. Captain Fu asked Subai, "Are you saying your senses are sharper than mine?" Instructor Yu, sensing the rising tension, told Captain Fu, "Don't waste time on this. Subai may be overreacting since it's his first time on the battlefield." Despite their skepticism, Yanran stood by Subai. She turned to Captain Fu and said, "No one should make a judgment before the truth is confirmed." Left with no choice, Subai stepped forward, his voice earnest. "Please, believe me, the monsters are getting closer. I can tame monsters, which gives me an extraordinary sense for danger." Instructor Yu was taken aback by this revelation. "You have such a skill? Why wasn't it noted by the school?" Subai responded, "I was guaranteed a place at Wuda, so they didn't think it was necessary to document it." The students were shocked to hear that Subai had special abilities. One of them asked, "If Subai can tame monsters, why haven't we seen anything he's tamed?" Before anyone could respond, a loud sound came from the southwest. Some students came running, shouting that the Yuming cats were approaching. Instructor Yu quickly asked, "Are there really human cats coming?" The students confirmed it. An entire horde was headed their way. Captain Fu, hearing this, ordered everyone to form a defensive formation. He sent messengers to contact the base and request reinforcements. The messenger returned with troubling news. The surrounding camps are also under attack, so they can't send help. Instructor Yu turned to Captain Fu. "Are there really over 100 of them? Without reinforcements, these students can't possibly fight." Captain Fu drew his weapon and replied, "Subai's senses were correct. I can feel the horde rapidly approaching." He then turned to the strike team. "Prepare for battle." Captain Fu ordered, "Send 4 soldiers to protect these students." The strike team leader quickly followed his order. Subai protested, "I can fight. There's no need to protect me." But before he could say more, the Yuming cats, which were at the early bronze stage, appeared. The monsters immediately lunged to attack. Captain Fu and his soldiers began shooting at them, but their weapons barely slowed the beasts down. "Retaliate," Captain Fu commanded, "protect the students." However, the normal soldiers were no match for the Yuming cats. These creatures didn't even resemble typical cats, they were more like tigers in size and ferocity. Captain Fu and the instructors fought fiercely and managed to kill several of the Yuming cats, but they knew this battle would be far from over. "Stay in your defensive formation," Captain Fu ordered. "As long as we can withstand their initial attack, we'll be fine. We'll be able to beat them," Captain Fu shouted, his voice filled with determination. As the battle raged on, some of the Yuming cats managed to slip past the defenses and lunge toward the students. The strike team leader shouted, "Watch out." Seeing the monsters approaching, the students quickly raised their shields. In unison, they chanted with unwavering resolve, "By the honor burning in my chest, my country will never fall." As the students chanted, their bodysuits began to shine, and a magical formation started to form around them. But before the Yuming cats could reach the students, 2 figures at the back stepped forward and began shooting the monsters. The first was Zhang Mani, an early bronze stage hunter. She told her partner, Luo Yang, that he only needed to keep the monsters restrained while she would take care of shooting them down. Luo Yang, also an early Bronze Stage hunter, skillfully wielded his long sword, cutting through the monsters as they advanced. Luo Yang, seeing Zhang Manny in action, smirked and told her, "It's just a bunch of cats, nothing to be scared of. I'll handle them." Instructor Yu recognized the two students Zhang Manny, the deadly archer, and Luo Yang, whose divine strength was widely acknowledged. She couldn't help but comment, "This batch of students is impressive." Subai was amazed by their power and appearance, feeling somewhat inferior since his only weapon was Little Turtle. Watching Manny and Luo Yang in action, all the students were excited. Jiajin whispered, "This guy is seriously powerful. He looks even more formidable than Brother Su." The students' attention was fully on Manny and Luo Yang, and they didn't notice a soldier struggling with a monster nearby. Suddenly, a loud sound rang out from the forest. Everyone covered their ears, startled by the noise. When it stopped, a massive creature emerged from the woods, and to everyone's shock, all the Yuming cats immediately knelt before it. The monster that emerged from the forest was the king of the Yuming cats. It was a formidable creature at the middle silver stage with 45 constitution, 88 agility, and 43 spirit. Captain Fu was shocked to see the Cat King. He couldn't understand why such a powerful silver stage creature would appear here. He immediately ordered the messenger to contact the base and request reinforcements. Meanwhile, Manny and Luo Yang, unaware of the true strength of the creature, charged at the Cat King. Luo Yang leapt forward, sword drawn, while Manny supported him by restricting the monster's vision with her archery. However, when Instructor Yu saw them charging at the silver stage monster, fear gripped her, and she screamed, "Manny, Luo Yang, come back now." "This is a silver stage monster, not your plaything," Instructor Yu shouted, but it was already too late. The king of the Yuming cats made its move, striking with its claws. In one swift attack, it took down both Manny and Luo Yang. They fell to the ground, weapons lost, and lay helpless. Instructor Yu immediately shouted for them to come back, but Captain Fu, seeing the situation unfold, told her it was too late. He ordered his soldiers to provide cover fire. The king of the Yuming cats leaped again, aiming to strike at the soldiers before it could reach them. Something green and shining zipped through the air at incredible speed, hitting the Cat King squarely in the face, sending it flying. Everyone was confused, unsure of what just happened. The green object was Subai's Little Turtle. Shocked, the students began asking what it was. Instructor Yu quickly explained that it was Subai's beast, and Hanjai Gang, recognizing it, immediately confirmed, "That's Subai's turtle." Subai stepped forward, positioning himself in front of Manny and Luo Yang to protect them. As expected, he said, "This entrance is still a bit awkward." He introduced himself as Beast Tamer Subai, with the Little Turtle as his beast. He then told Manny and Luo Yang to handle the smaller monsters while he dealt with the Cat King. The other students were stunned by the sight of Subai and his turtle. They couldn't believe that the Cat King had been knocked away by a turtle. Yanran was particularly happy to discover that the turtle was actually Subai's beast. As the king of the Yuming cats stood up, Subai commanded his little turtle to show the wild cat what it could do. With lightning speed, the little turtle charged at the king of the Yuming cats. Manny, watching in disbelief, asked, "How is Subai's turtle running so fast? Is that really still a turtle?" Captain Fu, still shooting Yuming cats, was equally surprised by the speed and power of the little turtle. He hadn't expected Subai to possess such strength. Instructor Yu, who was fighting beside Captain Fu, commented, "I didn't expect this either. Subai's beast taming is certainly unique." Captain Fu turned to the students and commanded, "Since Subai has already distracted the Cat King, you should attack and clear out the nether cats." At his command, the students immediately began to eliminate the remaining Yuming cats. Meanwhile, the king of the Yuming cats, enraged by the little turtle's attack, used demonic flames to strike it with its claws. The flames hit the little turtle's shell, but instead of being injured, the Cat King lost all its claws. The little turtle had used its shell defense, which increased its defense by 300%. Captain Fu was shocked to see a normal grade creature withstand the Silver Cat King's crushing claws. He was amazed by the little turtle's insane defense, but he knew this wasn't the time to be stunned. Now's not the time to be shocked, he thought. He immediately moved towards the king of the Yuming cats, ordering his soldiers to cover him. "While the Cat King is occupied, I'm going to finish it." As the king of the Yuming cats was distracted by the little turtle, Captain Fu sneaked up behind it. Aiming for its weak spot, the abdomen, he lunged with his fire sword, telling the beast, "Prepare to die." The king of Yuming cats screams in pain. It uses its tail and strikes Captain Fu, sending him flying. Captain Fu misses the opportunity to attack its abdomen. When he falls to the ground, he immediately charges at the king of Yuming cat, shouting, "Once more, beast! It's either you die or I live." Seeing Captain Fu charging at the king of Yuming cats, Subai tells Little Turtle to use its ultimate move. Hearing that, Little Turtle's body starts shining, and it begins spinning. Jiazhun and Fan Chao are confused, wondering what this ultimate move is, and why the turtle is spinning in place. While they are still confused, Subai runs towards the spinning Little Turtle. He had read in a book that the Cat King's weak spot is its abdomen. He kicks Little Turtle like a football, aiming at the Cat King's abdomen. Little Turtle shoots towards the Cat King like a bullet at high speed. Before the Cat King can injure Captain Fu, Little Turtle hits it in the abdomen with solid impact. The attack sends the Cat King flying far away. After hitting the Cat King, Little Turtle landed like a superhero. Captain Fu was shocked that Subai actually hit the weak spot. He moved farther to see if the Cat King would survive this. On the other hand, the Cat King was bleeding heavily, but somehow managed to stand up again. It roared very loudly, looking at the sky, and then fell. Finally, the Cat King died. Seeing the Cat King dead, everyone jumped in happiness. The Cat King had been defeated. Captain Fu, though very injured, asked in disbelief if they had really won. Yanran came running and hugged Subai tightly, saying, "Subai, you're amazing! You defeated the golden level Cat King!" Subai was surprised by the sudden hug from Yanran. Everyone gathered around Subai, praising him and saying he was incredible. Jiajun asked Subai where he got the turtle, saying he wanted one too. While they were busy talking, Little Turtle saw an opportunity and began searching the Cat King's body for something to eat. To its luck, it found a yellow beast core. It got very excited upon seeing the yellow stone and was about to eat it, but before it could, Subai noticed it. He shouted, asking Little Turtle what it was sneaking off to eat now. But before he could get there, Little Turtle ate the yellow beast core. Subai was angry, but suddenly a black shadow appeared in the sky. Seeing this, everyone became confused, asking, "What's that in the sky?" But Captain Fu immediately recognized it and told the others that it was dangerous. The Cat King's final howl had summoned its kind. Instructor Yu asked him if an even more dangerous beast could be approaching. On the other hand, at the base operations center, a soldier reported to the commander that, according to frontline energy wave analysis, F-169 base was detecting a large number of unknown level beasts. It had become very dangerous. This is the same base where Subai is. Suddenly, the commander received news that Hulin's daughter, Yanran, was among the group of trainee students at base F-2679. The person who told him this news was Wen Yuan. He asked the commander to provide immediate support. The commander immediately agreed, saying he would dispatch a scout company to escort Mr. Wen to the battlefield. Mr. Wen told the commander that he didn't need it, as he couldn't wait, and would head there himself. Before leaving, he turned to the commander and told him, "Within 20 minutes, I hope the reinforcements reach the battlefield." Hearing the 20-minute countdown, the commander told him that he was giving the order now. The commander was very nervous, thinking about the terrible situation, because he knew that if Hulin went mad, the entire Jiangzhou wouldn't be able to handle it. He immediately sent orders. On the other hand, at base F-269, after those black shadows covered the sky, suddenly a pair of red eyes appeared within them. Those eyes were looking at the group very angrily, and a loud voice came, calling them foolish humans, lowly species. Hearing that voice, Instructor Yu was too shocked and asked Captain Fu, "How is this possible? It can actually speak human language." Captain Fu was shocked himself. He said, "This is impossible. A beast that understands human language must be at least golden level and shouldn't appear here." He immediately ordered everyone to quickly form a defensive formation, placing the injured in the center. Suddenly, that black shadow fell on the ground beside the Cat King's dead body. From the shadows, a very angry voice came, saying, "Lowly species! How dare you slaughter my kind?" The shadow monster then started eating the Cat King's body. The students were shocked and disgusted seeing the monster eating the Cat King. When Captain Fu saw the monster, he said, "This is absolutely impossible. How could something like that appear in this area?" Suddenly, Subai received a warning notification from the system. The system warned Subai of extreme danger as a golden level beast was detected nearby. The system told him to please leave immediately as the lethal threat was rated 5 stars in extreme danger state. Subai was shocked to find that it was actually a golden level beast. The monster that emerged from the shadow was the Shadow Cat King. And it was even a mutated monster. It was a golden level monster with 272 constitution, 345 agility, and 275 mentality. After sustaining severe injuries, the Shadow Cat King entered a bloodthirsty berserk state, increasing its agility and attack by 100%, with a 50% reduction in defense. Liu Yang was shocked to find that it was a golden level beast and said, "Even our teacher probably hasn't faced one." Mani was too scared and fell to the ground saying, "I want to go home, I don't want to die." Seeing that reinforcements hadn't arrived, Captain Fu charged at the Shadow Cat King, ordering everyone to escort the wounded and retreat while he covered them. He jumped to attack, shouting, "Beast, I'll fight you to the death." But with just one swing of its hand, the Shadow Cat King sent Captain Fu flying. It then raised its claws to finish off the captain. Seeing that, Subai threw his little turtle, ordering it to protect Captain Fu. When the Shadow Cat King struck at Captain Fu, Little Turtle jumped in between and blocked the Shadow Cat King's attack with its shell defense. The Shadow Cat King was shocked by the turtle's exceptionally tough shell, but suddenly some deep scratches appeared on Little Turtle's shell and it started bleeding. Captain Fu was shocked and asked Little Turtle if it was okay. Seeing Little Turtle injured, Subai tried to go over, but before he could move, he also got injured and started bleeding from his mouth. He felt the same pain as Little Turtle. Yan Ran, standing beside him, was very shocked to see him and asked if he was injured. Instructor Yu, who was helping Captain Fu at the moment, was shocked to see Subai injured. She couldn't understand how he got hurt, as she didn't see the Shadow Cat King attack him. Seeing Subai, Captain Fu wondered if it was the animal trainer's same origin effect. Hearing that, Instructor Yu said, "It's impossible. I'll go check it out." Suddenly, a system notification appeared, telling Subai that because the tamed beast had fallen into a serious injury state, it triggered the tamer's talent same origin. Now, the host and the tamed beast share energy and share damage. Instructor Yu comes and checks Subai, but she doesn't find any external injuries on him. Shocked, she wonders, could it be that Subai really understood the origin of the legendary beast taming skill? In pain, Subai falls, but Yanren catches him before he hits the ground. She is very worried about Subai's condition. Subai sees the notification and understands what happened to him. He tells her that he is okay. Instructor Yu points her sword at the Shadow Cat King and says, "Subai is sharing the attack of the golden level Shadow Cat King with his tamed beast. Let's go support him." "Yes, we can't let him fight alone," all the students and soldiers shout together. Seeing everyone charging together, the Shadow Cat King smiles. Its eyes burn with anger and it calls them a bunch of ants. When all the students charged at the Shadow Cat King with Instructor Yu and Captain Fu, the Shadow Cat King took its shadow form to fight. It also sent one of its shadow minions towards Subai. Instructor Yu noticed it and asked Subai to be careful. When Yan Ran saw the shadow minion coming, she tried to protect Subai by taking the hit. But suddenly, there was a huge explosion, covering the ground with flames. Subai and Yan Ran were completely fine, as the shadow minion didn't reach them, and died. In that explosion, Yan Ran was too shocked, asking, "What just happened?" Seeing this, Subai smiles because the core crystal of the Silver Yuming Cat King has finally been absorbed. A system notification then appears, telling him that the little turtle has upgraded to bronze level, Black Turtle. The Black Tortoise bloodline has been activated, and the Black Tortoise illusion can now be maintained for a short period of time. Little Turtle has gained a new talent called Turtle Gravity. As Little Turtle's bloodline is activated to 10%, all of its attributes have improved, and its talent has been enhanced. Now, Little Turtle's physical strength is 218, defense is 362, agility is 55, and spirit is 60. Its first talent is Black Turtle Barrier, which can gather the power of Little Turtle to form a defensive barrier, increasing defense by 300%. The second talent is Turtle Spirit Possession, which consumes a certain amount of physical energy to cover the whole body with Little Turtle's energy, enhancing attack power by 100% and defense power by 200%. The third talent is Turtle Gravity, which launches a skill at the designated target, causing the target to be pulled by gravity. After awakening the Black Turtle's bloodline, Subai's Little Turtle entered its spirit form. A huge beast, in the form of a spirit, emerged from the Little Turtle's body like a projection. Everyone was shocked to see the Little Turtle's spirit form. What would they want to do with it? Creatures of the night stormed Earth. What would they do with the Blue Turtle voice line? Instructor Yu asked if Subai's beast had evolved. Seeing the golden light emanating from the Little Turtle's body, Captain Fu wondered, could it be an epic beast tamer? On the other hand, after the Little Turtle's awakening, Subai also stood up. Yanran asked him if his injury had healed as well. Subai told her that he was fine. He then immediately pointed at the Shadow Cat King and ordered the Little Turtle to kill the beast for him. At his command, the Little Turtle's spirit swung its hand and struck the Shadow Cat King, sending it flying with just one attack. Everyone was amazed to see the Little Turtle's power. Captain Fu, shocked, said Subai's tamed beast is only at the initial bronze level, but it exudes such terrifying pressure. The bloodline level must be quite high. Luo Long could not believe his eyes. Subai, a bronze-level beast tamer, had knocked away the Shadow Cat King. After getting hit by the Little Turtle spirit, the Shadow Cat King went flying, but somehow managed to stop itself. Now it was very angry and roared loudly, releasing its shadow minions at the students, shouting, "I want you to die!" Seeing the Shadow Cat King going berserk, Captain Fu told everyone to watch out and retreat. He instructed them to split up and run away. The Shadow Cat King created tens of shadow minions, telling the humans, don't even think about running away. All the shadow minions charged. They avoided the Little Turtle and attacked the students and soldiers. Seeing this, Subai asked the Little Turtle to stop them. The Little Turtle immediately used its turtle gravity skill on the entire area. A golden light covered the whole space. Before the shadow minions could even attack the students, they froze in midair. Then the Little Turtle pulled all the shadow minions towards itself, opened its huge mouth, and sucked them all in. It then closed its mouth, killing all the shadow minions in one go. Subai told the Little Turtle not to show mercy and to explode. At his command, the Little Turtle opened its huge mouth, started collecting vast amounts of energy, and then shot a golden energy beam in the direction of the Shadow Cat King. In front of the Little Turtle's powerful energy beam, the Shadow Cat King didn't last a second and was vaporized. After a few minutes, Mr. Wen also arrived at the scene, but upon looking at the battlefield, he was shocked to see that everything was already over. There was a huge crack on the ground. Seeing this, Mr. Wen wondered, what on earth did they go through on such a tragic battlefield? On the other hand, after the fight, Captain Fu was commanding everyone to clean up the battlefield quickly. Mr. Wen immediately went to Yanran, who was collecting monster cores with Instructor Yu. Seeing that Yanran was fine, Mr. Wen let out a sigh of relief, saying, "Miss, I'm so glad you're okay." Yanran was a little surprised to see him. Instructor Yu was confused seeing Mr. Wen there and asked Yanran why he was here. Captain Fu immediately saluted Mr. Wen and introduced himself as Fu Lin, the Deputy Battalion Commander of F-269 Military Base. Since Mr. Wen was a higher-ranking officer than Captain Fu reported to Mr. Wen that in this battle, a squad of his troops cooperated with the instructors and students of Wuhan University and encountered a large group of nether cats. Over 800 nether cats were killed, including several bronze level ones, one silver level one, and one gold level one. The casualties are currently being counted and initial treatment is being provided to the seriously injured. Mr. Wen was surprised to hear that a gold-level beast had appeared. Looking at the crack on the ground, he said, "Captain Fu, you actually killed this gold-level monster? It's unbelievable." Pointing at Subai, Captain Fu reported to Mr. Wen that it was Subai and his trained animals who killed it. Hearing that, Mr. Wen turned to Subai and asked him if he had killed the Shadow Cat King. Subai acted modestly and told Mr. Wen that it was the deputy battalion commander, the instructors, and he who worked together to kill it. It wasn't just his work. Hearing Subai's reply, Mr. Wen was impressed. He patted Subai on the shoulder and asked, "Subai, after graduating from Wuhan University, are you interested in studying at Zhenzhou Fortress?" He added that although the beast tamer had fallen, he would personally guide him. Hearing that, Subai became happy and thanked Mr. Wen for his kindness, saying that he hadn't thought about it yet. While they were talking, Captain Fu came and reported to Mr. Wen that the battlefield had been cleared. He asked Mr. Wen to please give instructions. Mr. Wen instructed everyone to return to base. When they all returned to the base, in front of the teleportation formation, Captain Fu asked the instructors to count the number of people. He told the students to enter the portal in order and to go back and practice hard, saying they were the strongest class he had ever met. All the students thanked the deputy captain before leaving. While the students were leaving, Captain Fu told Instructor Yu that these children were very special, especially the one named Subai, who had a bright future. Instructor Yu agreed with him, saying, as a freshman, she could not imagine what his future strength would be. Captain Fu smiled and said, Instructor Yu, we'll meet again later. This time, I owe Subai a life. Instructor Yu told Captain Fu that he was too polite before leaving. One by one, everyone entered the teleportation formation and returned to Wuhan University. Subai and Yanran were together, and he was very happy to finally be back. Jinjian was very excited, shouting, "This trip was really thrilling!" When they returned to the university, they saw students standing right in front of them, holding banners to welcome the heroes of victory. All the teachers and students of Jiangzhou Wuhan University gathered to welcome the hero's victorious return. A teacher gives a bouquet of flowers to Luo Yong, saying, "Welcome home, hero." Luo Yong was surprised and told the teachers that the real hero is Subai, saying, "We are nothing. We are just cannon fodder." Other injured students came after Luo Yong and agreed with him, telling the teachers that it's good enough they could come back alive. If there weren't so many missing classmates around them, they would have suspected that today's experience was just a dream. Instructor Jian comes and pats Subai's back, saying, "I already know your situation on the battlefield. You are all heroes of Jiangsu Wuda. Your test scores this time will be the highest ever." Hearing about the assessment results, Subai gets very happy and says that now he just wants to go back to the dormitory, take a shower, and have a good sleep. All the students laugh and say that they all want to rest. In Subai's room, Jinjian asks others if they feel that the bed is extra soft tonight. Feng Chao laughs and tells him that he's been trapped by this bed. He turns to Han Jin and asks him that since they accomplished such a great feat this time, they should be credited with this military achievement, right? Han Jin laughs and asks him how many resources he can exchange for his limited military capabilities. He adds that since Brother Su killed the gold-level monster, Subai can exchange it for a bunch of cultivation resources. Suddenly, Han Jin remembers something, stands up and asks Subai what kind of turtle his is. He says he'll buy one to raise at home. If nothing else, he'd feel at ease watching the cuckold. While they were talking, Little Turtle was lost in his dream of a female turtle harem. The next day, in the early morning, someone continuously starts knocking on Subai's room door. Irritated by the sounds of knocking, Han Jin wakes up. He shouts, telling the person outside to stop knocking already. He's angry and wonders who could be knocking this early in the morning, but when he opens the door, he's shocked to see heaven outside his door. There were many girls standing in front of the door, holding gifts in their hands. A girl in glasses steps forward and says, "Juniors!" Pointing at Subai's bed, Fan Chao told the girls that his brother Subai went out for a run. He asked them if they knew his brother. Hearing that Subai wasn't there, the girls became very disappointed and asked Fan Chao why he didn't say so earlier. The purple-haired girl told him that everyone on campus knows Subai now. With a sad face, she said, "Too bad Subai doesn't know me." Jinjun also wakes up and is surprised to hear that his brother Sue is famous now. While leaving, the purple-haired girl told them to turn on the TV and take a look. She also took the breakfast box and gave it to Hanjin, saying, "Since Subai isn't here, I'll just take the breakfast back then." Hanjin and the other two were shocked to see how the girls changed after learning that Subai wasn't there. They all turned out to be gold diggers. On the other hand, Subai was running on the university's field. While he was taking note of his health, suddenly an important broadcast aired on Longqua's military channel. It attracted the attention of everyone in the stadium, and they all looked at the broadcasting screen. The announcement stated that yesterday, several provinces experienced large-scale attacks by ferocious beasts from the myriad races on myriad races behind human lines. Among the beasts attacking the bases, gold-tier combatants were present in each instance. Students from martial arts universities across provinces were massacred, with survival rates less than 1 in 100. During this campaign, the instructors and students of Zhangzhou Martial University fought valiantly. They slayed 1 gold-tier beast, 1 silver-tier beast, and numerous bronze-tier and ordinary-tier beasts. Among them, freshman Subai single-handedly held off a gold-tier beast. With the support of instructors and a bronze-tier expert from the military, he achieved the feat of cross-tier slaying, a complete victory across the board, with Jiangzhou Martial University standing as the sole victor. The news also showed Subai's photo on the screen and continued, saying that the Longguo military has decided to award all participating students and instructors from Jiangchu Martial University a collective second-class honor and a Great Wall silver medal. As for student Subai, for his outstanding contributions, he is awarded a first-class honor and a Great Wall gold medal. Subai was surprised and confused by the sudden awarding of the first-class honor. Everyone in the stadium was shocked to hear that Subai, a freshman, had achieved something so incredible. A guy, very jealous of Subai, said, "A Great Wall gold medal, something I could never achieve in my life, is given to a freshman." A girl, very impressed by Subai, shouted, "The Martial University is mighty. I really want to meet Subai." She asked others who was acquainted with Subai, saying she wanted to date him. Hearing them all, Subai realized that if he stood there, those crazy girls wouldn't let him escape. He covered his face, thinking it was better to sneak away quickly. Slowly, he made his way out of there and hid behind a wall. Where others could not see him, while he was taking a breath, suddenly his phone rang. It was Subai's sister, Sujia. She was very excited and told Subai that he was on TV. Subai was surprised that even people outside the university had received the news. He told his sister that he had already seen it. Sushia told him that their mom and dad wanted him to come home to celebrate. Subai knew his family's financial condition and asked, "Isn't that unnecessary?" Subai's mother and father were sitting beside Sushia and were very proud of him. His father told him that he had achieved such an honor, and now everyone in the neighborhood wanted to see him. Subai's mother told him that his third uncle's sister-in-law had just called, saying she wanted to introduce him to a girlfriend. Sushie told him that he better come back quickly, otherwise their front door was about to get kicked down by their neighbors. Hearing how happy they were, Subai said, "All right, the test just ended, and we have 2 days off. I'll pack up and come back to take a look." His sister was very happy and told him that since he was so famous now, their dad would grin in his sleep. Subai laughed and told her to hang up. Then, in the afternoon, Subai came back to his family's apartment. All the neighbors started calling Subai's father, saying, "Old Su, your family's hero is coming home. Come out and welcome him." Subai was shocked to see so many people standing in front of their house and asked them if all of them were waiting for him. The whole neighborhood had gathered there to welcome Subai. They started cheering that the great hero was back. A woman came up and asked Subai if he still remembered her, saying she held him when he was a kid. Subai was very surprised and asked, "Isn't everyone being way too enthusiastic?" Subai's family also came out. Sujie jumped to hug her hero brother. His mother and father were very happy to see him. Subai's father grabbed his hand and asked him to come home. While he was going, another woman asked Subai to come and eat at her house, saying she made seafood dumplings. Subai thanked her but told her that he was allergic to seafood. An old man came forward and asked Subai's father to bring Subai to his house, saying he had stewed turtle soup and invited them to have some together. Subai's father thanked everyone and told them that they had already prepared food at home. He added that he would bring Subai to visit each of them once he had rested. Subai told them that later on he would definitely visit all the uncles and aunties. Hearing that, an old auntie came forward and asked Subai's father to bring Subai over later, mentioning that her granddaughter was a university student in the city. They can meet there, but another uncle came forward and told that auntie that her granddaughter wasn't worthy of Subai. He said her granddaughter had just graduated this year, and he would introduce Subai to her. Subai's father didn't expect his neighbors to behave like that. Somehow, Subai and his family returned to their house. Subai was exhausted from dealing with all of them. He said that if he had known it would be like this, he would have snuck back after dark. Sushia told him that wouldn't work because Anchang had installed surveillance outside their house. She was just waiting for Subai to come back so she could introduce her granddaughter to him. Subai's father immediately walked towards the kitchen, telling them that he would cook personally today. His mother told Subai to take a rest first, saying that she and his dad would cook. She asked her daughter to come help out. Subai immediately threw his bag on the side of the sofa and sat down. He finally got a moment to catch his breath, but before he could rest, suddenly a system notification popped up in front of his eyes. The system detected a contractible creature, a little kitten, and asked Subai if he wished to tame the little kitten. Subai was surprised to see that notification. It was the Beast Master's intuition. Seeing his surprised expression, Sushia asked him what was happening. Subai asked his little sister if their family had gotten a cat. She pointed at a little cat eating food in the corner of the room and asked him if he meant Little White. Seeing the cat, Subai asked her if they couldn't have a more impressive one. Sushie pet the little cat and asked Subai what was not impressive about Little White. "It's so cute," she said. She told him that after he took Little 8, she found Little White on the road a few days ago, so she brought it home. Subai didn't argue with his sister and told her that it was cute if she said so. He thought that if his sister liked it so much, maybe he shouldn't tame it. But then the little cat's status window popped up in front of him. Tamed Beast Little Kitten Level 0 Ordinary. Initial stage bloodline contains traces of the White Tiger Sacred Beast bloodline growth potential infinite, with eventual god slaying capabilities. Current stats: Physical 1, Defense 1, Spirit 1. Its agility is 3 and its ability is Claw Strike, which increases attack speed and damage by 100%. Its evolution method is consumption. The system then asked Subai if he wished to tame the kitten. Subai was too shocked to see the little cat's status window, wondering, could this stray cat really have the White Tiger bloodline? The little cat looked at Subai with curiosity. Sushia told Subai that it seemed to like him. Subai clicked on the tame option, thinking he should tame it first and figure it out later. After taming the little cat, he turned to his sister and, while smiling, called her to discuss something. He told her that it was about the little cat because her brother is a beast master. Before Subai could finish what he was saying, Suja immediately declined. She took the little cat and said, "Brother, since you already took Little 8, don't think about taking Little White." Subai tried to convince her, saying they could negotiate on this. He asked her if she didn't want a laptop. Suzai ran with the little cat, telling Subai that it wouldn't do and that she wouldn't give Little White to him. A few minutes later, Subai's mother came with food and saw Subai chasing Suzia, who was running away with the little cat in her hand. Then, 2 days later, when Subai returned to the university, he had both Little Turtle and Little Cat with him. When the students of the university saw Subai, they immediately recognized him. Seeing the cat in Subai's backpack, a girl asked another, "Why does he have a cat in his bag? Is he a cat lover?" Inside Subai's bag, Little Turtle was very happy to be with Little Cat. It told Little Cat that this is Boss's school and that it would have her back from today. But Little Cat was very uncomfortable in that small bag and complained to Subai that Little Turtle was squishing her. However, Subai didn't understand what they were talking about. While he was walking, a boy spotted Subai and said, "Isn't that Subai the one who got the gold medal?" Another boy replied, "Is that why, despite his average looks, so many girls are running to his dorm?" They were jealous of Subai's achievement. Hearing them, Subai thought, "Looks like I'll need to wear a mask when going out in the future." While he was walking, suddenly there was an announcement asking student Subai to please report to the principal's office immediately. Subai was surprised by the announcement, wondering what the principal could want with him. When he went to the principal's office, the principal told Subai that he was truly a man of Huaxia. Because of his excellent performance at the F-269 military base, the school had decided to reward him. The principal asked Subai what he would like. Subai said that he was really grateful to the school and also to the principal. Subai had always heard that their principal was a stingy man, so it would probably be tough even trying to get some food for little 8. He pretended to think hard and told the principal that he didn't want the school to go bankrupt over him. So how about 100 gold tier beast cores? The principal acted shocked after hearing 100 gold tier beast cores and said, "Subai, I don't have that many of them, even if you grind my bones to dust. Why don't you ask for the principal's position instead?" Subai then told the principal that he could settle for 100 silver tier ones instead. Hearing about the silver tier, the principal told him not to even think about it, saying he couldn't even get scraps with the amount of honor he had. Subai told the principal that he didn't want the gold medal or whatever. Could he have 50 silver tier beast cores instead? He tried to make the situation emotional, saying, "Principal, you know I bled for the school." But the principal didn't fall for that and said, "Subai, humans are humans. The strong in the human race have the responsibility and duty to protect the weak. When you saved those students, you were carrying out a duty as one of the strong ones." Subai was at a loss for words seeing the principal. He said, "Principal, please, no more yapping. Let's settle with 50 silver tier beast cores." The principal completely ignored his words and told him that the military and the school weren't going to give up on a genius like him. He took a deep breath and told Subai that this was the most he could do. He would let him have 10 bronze tier beast cores. Subai was shocked to hear that his reward was just 10 bronze tier. He immediately declined and asked for 20 bronze tier beast cores. The principal agreed to 15 and told him that it was final. Subai accepted the deal. The principal realized that Subai was trying to haggle with him, and Subai also realized that his principal was very cheap. The principal then turned around and told Subai that in addition to the rewards, there was a little something he needed to let Subai know. Surprised, Subai asked. The principal told Subai that he had been selected by the school as the representative from the first year and would participate in this year's 100 Schools tournament. Subai was confused to hear about the 100 Schools tournament and asked the principal if the reward thing was just a ruse. He said, "Principal, this is not very nice of you." The principal asked him not to put it that way. As a student of Jiangzhou Martial University, it was his duty to bring honor to the school. The principal asked Subai if he didn't want resources, saying that the tournament was very generous with rewards. Subai replied, "Principal, there must be lots of skilled people in the 100 Schools tournament. It'd be difficult to even get a rank, wouldn't it? It'll be hard work." Hearing that, the principal said, "How can the youth of today be scared of challenges?" He told Subai to go prepare and come to the training room tomorrow. Subai agreed and left. The principal looked outside the window and thought, it's getting more difficult to rope the youth today into things. On the other hand, while leaving, Subai thought of the tales of the principal being a sly old fox and realized that the gossip was definitely accurate. The next day, 10 students gathered in the practice hall. The principal told them that the 100 Schools tournament was hosted by the military, though the Ministry of Education had given them far fewer resources compared to better-known schools, such as the martial universities of Beijing and Shanghai. He was still sending them off with the hope that they would achieve better results. Then the principal started the roll call. First was third-year Hu Qing, who was a bronze middle tier awakened of the wood element. Second was Bai Ningbing, and then Xiong Tiangxiang. While the principal was calling their names, an annoyed guy said, "This is kind of unfair. Jiangzhou Martial University was founded later, so students here get much fewer resources than those going to famous schools." A girl standing behind agreed with him, saying, "I heard that our school has always ranked very low." The principal then called first year Subai's name last. He immediately responded, "I'm here." The principal told the students that there were 10 students representing the school in the tournament, and they were the top students in their respective years. The principal took out a paper and said he would make an announcement. He pointed at Subai and announced that this year, the leader of the team would be Subai. Subai was shocked to hear his name and asked the principal, "This is a mistake, right?" When the others heard Subai's name, they got angry. The principal told them that making Subai the team leader was a decision made by the school board after much discussion. An angry guy came forward and asked the principal, "Hu Qing is the strongest and most experienced out of all of them. How can a freshman be the team lead instead of him?" Others agreed with him. Another boy pointed at Hu Qing and said, "Subai is just at the initial tier of bronze, a whole tier behind Hu Qing. How can he lead us?" The principal got angry and asked them if they had seen the news these past 2 days. Subai is capable of defeating gold-tier beasts. If any of you want to be the leader, you should go kill a gold-tier beast right now, and I will make the swap." Hearing about Subai defeating a gold-tier beast, a boy laughed and said, "Who the hell knows how he did it? Might have just been luck." Another boy looked angrily at Subai and said he didn't believe it either. He challenged Subai right there for a fight. All the seniors were angry at Subai, saying they also wanted to challenge him. Subai tried to calm them down, telling them that he was not aware of this whole leader thing at all. Subai was angry at the principal because he was making Subai a target for everyone. The principal immediately walked away, saying, "That is all for today." He asked them to go get ready, as the tournament was less than 20 days away, and he looked forward to their performances. While the others were hearing the principal, Subai also ran away from there. Some students noticed and shouted, asking him, "Where are you going while running away?" Subai said, "Dear seniors, I'm in a hurry. I'll be going to my dorm now." Seeing Subai escape, a boy called him a coward, saying he didn't believe that Subai killed the gold-tier beast at all. Another boy angrily said he would show Subai who's boss once the tournament started. On the other hand, Subai returned to his dormitory and called his little turtle, telling it that it was time to eat. Looking in his inventory, Subai said, "At least the old fart kept his word." He told the little turtle that there were 15 bronze-tier beast cores, enough for it to level up. When Subai gave a beast core to the little turtle, the little cat tried to snatch it. Subai told the little cat not to rush because there was something for it too. He took out some blood essence and gave it to the little cat because its level was still too low. Seeing the little cat eat the blood essence, the little turtle made an innocent face, hoping to get some too. "It sure eats a lot," Subai said, giving it some. Another beast core. Subai was crying as he gave the third beast core to the little turtle because one bite cost hundreds of thousands of yuan. The little turtle ate it immediately and asked for more. Subai, still crying, asked it how much more it needed to eat to evolve. He poured all the beast cores into the little turtle's bowl and told it that these were the last ones. If it still didn't evolve, then he was going to feed everything to the little cat in the future. The little cat got happy to hear that. After eating the third beast core, the little turtle's body started shining again. Subai got a little scared seeing the golden light coming out of the little turtle's body. The whole university started shaking because of the little turtle's evolution. Everyone was confused, asking what happened. They wondered if it was an earthquake. A system notification came congratulating. Subai was thrilled because his mystic tortoise had leveled up to bronze middle tier. Subai's own level also increased. Currently, the little turtle's level is bronze middle stage. 30% of its Zhuanwu bloodline is activated, enhancing all its attributes and strengthening its talents. The little turtle's physique is 568, defense is 862, agility is 95, and spirit is 90. Subai was happy that the little turtle finally leveled up. While it didn't gain more talents, its stats and talent levels increased significantly. While Subai was looking at the little turtle's status window, another notification came, congratulating him because the little cat also leveled up to ordinary high tier and awakened. Subai's tamed beast, Little Kitten, is now an ordinary high-level beast. It contains traces of the White Tiger Sacred Beast bloodline with infinite growth potential and, eventually, god-slaying capabilities. Now its strength is 39, defense is 38, agility is 79, and spirit is 25. It also has 3 talents. The first talent is Claw Strike, which activates by consuming stamina, increasing attack speed and damage by 100%. The second talent is Bloodlust, which activates by consuming stamina, increasing attack by 100%, 500%. The graver the wounds, the higher the bonus. The third talent is Ghostly Haunting Step, which increases movement speed by 100%, 200%. The bonus increases as more vitality is consumed. Seeing the second notification, Subai jumped in. The next day, Subai went to the Jiangzhou Martial University library. He was surprised by the sheer size of the building. He remarked to the librarian that he hadn't expected Jiangzhou University's library to be so vast. The librarian explained to Subai that the library had been established even before the university was founded, serving as the cornerstone of Jiangzhou Martial University's heritage. While speaking with Subai, the librarian scanned his ID and was astonished. She hadn't expected a freshman to already have 180 credits. As a beast tamer, Subai asked her about books related to beast taming. The librarian pointed in a direction and informed Subai that the beast taming books he was looking for were over there. He was free to look up whatever information he needed. Subai thanked her and went to the beast taming section. He was a little surprised to see that there were actually quite a few books on beast taming. He thought it would take him a long time to go through all of them. While Su-bai was selecting his first book, he noticed a book written by Lo Fan. When he read the name, he felt that he had heard it somewhere before. Su-bai picked up the book, and while flipping through its pages, he noticed the beast taming skills described in it. The skills included Heavens and Earth Converge, the Undying Soul, Divine Weapons Gathered, Sacred Beasts Armed, the Roots of Grass and Trees, and Origin Confluence. Su-bai recognized the bibliophile Origin Confluence skill as he had already mastered it. He wondered what the Undying Soul and Sacred Beasts Armed might mean. While Su-bai was engrossed in reading the book, he didn't realize that he had already lost track of time. Nations noticed Su-bai coming out. These seniors noticed Su-bai coming out. These seniors were the same ones selected to compete in the university competition alongside Su-bai. Seeing him emerging from the beast taming section, one of the seniors mocked him, saying, "A beast tamer has no future, no matter how much they study." Su-bai didn't even notice them, as he was fully engrossed in the book he was reading. He was amazed by its contents and said to himself, "I didn't expect Senior Luo Fen to be so powerful." He created 3 divine skills: Origin Confluence, Sacred Beasts Armed, and the Undying Soul. He even single-handedly fought against the invasion of all the tribes. It's a pity he was eventually outnumbered and died on the battlefield. Even with just a brief look at the book, Su-bai was captivated by the extraordinary achievements of Luo Fan. Su-bai realized that he needed to read this book carefully, but suddenly something shocking happened. While Su-bai was reading, the book began to shine brightly. He was shocked and confused, unable to comprehend what was happening or why the book was floating. He even felt a strange force flowing into his body. After the book stopped shining, Su-bai went to the librarian. Showing her the book, he asked if he could borrow it. The librarian was surprised to see the book because it didn't have a classification label. She told Su-bai that it probably wasn't part of the library's collection. Su-bai insisted that it couldn't be true, as he had taken it directly from the bookshelf. The librarian decided to check and investigate further. The librarian tried to examine the contents of the book, but even after using all her strength, she couldn't open it. Frustrated, she wondered why she couldn't open the book. Su-bai was surprised to hear this and said, "That can't be right. I was just reading it a moment ago. Let me take a look." But when Su-bai tried to open the book, it opened immediately. Su-bai showed it to the librarian and said, "How is it possible that it couldn't be opened?" The librarian was equally confused and said, "Maybe something went wrong." She told Su-bai to keep the book and read it, adding that he could return it whenever he was done. Su-bai immediately took the book and asked the librarian if he could borrow it for as long as he wanted. The librarian agreed, and Su-bai was delighted to hear that. He thanked the librarian before leaving. After Su-bai left, the librarian called the university principal and informed him that the book they had left on the bookshelf had been taken by Su-bai. The principal was shocked and asked if Su-bai had actually managed to open the book. The librarian confirmed that it was true. She saw it with her own eyes. The first-year student Su-bai had opened the book. Hearing this, the principal became very happy. Looking up at the sky, he said, "Luo Fan, the person you've been waiting for has finally appeared after 100 years. If you, in the underworld, are aware of this, you must be very happy, right?" The scene then shifts to 2 weeks later, at the Marshall University's 100 Schools League. People started gathering at the stadium. A reporter informed the audience that the 100 Schools League was divided into 5 major battle zones: East, South, West, North, and Central. Each battle zone would produce 2 qualifying teams. The 8 Marshall Universities of Changsha Province had all gathered at Changsha Marshall University to compete. The stadium was packed, and tickets for this year's 100 Schools League were in high demand. University buses began to arrive, carrying the participants of the competition. A group of students from Fuquan mocked the students from Lonying Martial University, saying, "Lonying Martial University dares to show up? They're just here to get beaten." The Longjing Martial University students retorted, "Who gets beaten is still up in the air. Just wait and see, you trash from Fuquan." All the students were highly competitive and full of spirit as they headed into the stadium. Meanwhile, the audience began to gather as the competition was about to start. At the seating area for Subai's Zhengzhou Martial University, Instructor Fu arrived and asked, "Is everyone here?" A senior replied, "Subai hasn't arrived yet, but everyone else is here." Another senior added, "Subai is our team captain. He wouldn't back out at the last minute." Just as he said that, a voice suddenly called out, "How could I back out at the last minute?" The one who said that was Subai. Instructor Fu was shocked to see him. It had only been a few days, but she could sense that Subai's strength had improved significantly. She told Subai that the match was about to start and that they needed to arrange their lineup. Subai reassured Instructor Fu, saying, "Don't worry, I've got it all planned out." Before the competition began, a host appeared on the big screen and announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, teachers and students. Just a month ago, the myriad beast clans deployed large-scale forces to pin down the military's frontline capabilities. Meanwhile, smaller groups of vicious beasts bypassed the front lines to attack the rear military bases of several provinces. The Martial University students in the affected provinces were nearly wiped out by the myriad beast clans, with less than 1 in 100 surviving." The host asked, "Compatriots, shall we avenge this?" The entire audience shouted in unison, "We must avenge them! Kill all the vicious beasts! The human race must win!" Seeing the audience's energy, the host said, "Good. If our human race has this spirit, how can the vicious beasts not be destroyed? This is the very purpose of today's 100 Schools League. Now, I declare the official opening of the Jiangzhou Provincial League." The rules of the competition were then announced. As this is a team battle format, each team can have up to 5 participants in each match. The loser is eliminated and the winner advances to the next round. "The team with the last remaining participant wins," the host announced. He then proceeded with the random draw for the matchups. First match was between Longying Martial University and Xinmin. The second match was between Jiangzhou Martial University and Xinyun Martial University. The third match was between Fuchuan Martial University and Suchong Martial University. The fourth match was between Anyi Martial University and Zhongshu Martial University. The host called for participants from Longying Martial University and Xinmin Martial University to come to the field. Subai's seniors were a little surprised to see that they had actually drawn Qingyun Martial University. Instructor Fu was also concerned, as the fight between Longying and Xinmin had already begun, but their lineup hadn't been decided yet. While they were discussing, suddenly, the principal of Zhangjiang Martial University approached and asked Subai if he had arranged the lineup. Subai proudly told the principal that for the lineup, he would be the first to go. As for the remaining 4, they could figure it out themselves. Everyone was surprised to hear that and asked Subai if this was part of his strategy. One senior asked Subai, "Shouldn't we make targeted arrangements based on Sungshin Martial University's lineup?" Other seniors agreed and asked Subai, "If you go first and can't win, it would be an embarrassment for Jiangxiu Martial University." The seniors were very angry with Subai. Subai then addressed everyone. Subai reassured everyone not to worry, saying that he would not disappoint them. While they were talking, the principal noticed that in just a few days, Subai's level had increased significantly. The principal admitted that Subai's comprehension was truly impressive. The principal then whispered to Subai, advising him not to go too far and to at least leave some room for his seniors to shine. He added that if Subai offended them all, it would be difficult for him to get by in school in the future. Subai nodded, understanding the advice. Into rooms, the light grew. Meanwhile, the match between Longying Martial University and Xingmin Martial University had ended, with Xingmin Martial University emerging victorious. Seeing the fight, Instructor Fu remarked, "This year, Xinmin Martial University is incredibly strong. They defeated Longying so quickly." She then turned to Subai and wished him all the best, as it was his turn to take the stage. Subai acknowledged her and, as he walked toward the arena, told his seniors to watch closely. They didn't like his attitude and said, "Let's see how capable he is." When Subai stepped onto the arena, waifu Yunran started cheering for him. Subai's roommates were also there, cheering him on. to fight Subai, a red-haired student from Qingyun Martial University, entered the stage. When the red-haired student saw Subai, he immediately recognized him and said, "You must be that freshman who slayed the golden tier vicious beast, right?" Subai, a little annoyed by the title, admitted that it was indeed him. That red-haired guy was Qingyun Martial University's squad captain, Li Lingfeng, a mid-Ryong rank stone power user. Li Ling transformed his arms into stone and said to Subai, "Today I'll show you what true power is like." Subai completely ignored his warning and focused on taking out his little turtle from the bag. Li Ling was surprised to see the little turtle and asked Subai, "Is this your tamed beast?" He then laughed at Subai, saying, "Don't tell me you brought your household pet to the competition." Subai completely ignored him again and took out some food to eat, saying that he was in a bit of a rush this morning and hadn't had breakfast yet. When the audience saw Subai's little turtle, they too were confused, wondering why he brought a little turtle to the competition. A guy commented that Jiangzhou Martial University really doesn't have anyone worth mentioning anymore, so they are actually letting this kind of trash go on stage. Even Subai's seniors thought he was seriously underestimating his opponent. One senior asked the others, "Subai's opponent seems to be at the mid-bronze rank. Can he really handle this?" While they were all wondering about the little turtle, Instructor Fu was wondering why. Subai was eating peanuts and drinking cola on the stage. After taking out the little turtle, Subai sat down, opened a can of cola, and told the little turtle, "After eating so many beast cores, don't embarrass me." The little turtle moved forward and released a bright light from its body. Li Ling felt the power emanating from the little turtle and wondered, could this turtle really be his tamed beast? Subai's little turtle took its black tortoise form. This time it was a stable form, and the little turtle fully controlled the transformation. Li Ling was terrified upon seeing the little turtle's overwhelming form. The whole audience was shocked to see such a massive turtle. One guy remarked, "This turtle's one eye alone is as big as a basketball." Looking at the little turtle's armor, one man asked, "Is that its skin?" This is clearly armor, and it's actually shining like metal. Being able to project mass really did seal the deal for these stars, and the turtle became associable with the image of superpower and superhumanness. Turtle number 6, Van Haberman, age 23, escapes from an MJ science tower, where he concludes his mission by receiving powers of his own. You know, looking at the little turtle's claws and limbs, another man said, "No wonder Subai can kill a gold-rank beast. This turtle could crush anyone with a single slap." Yanran was very happy, knowing that her future husband Subai is now stronger. EYA's roommate Fan Chao was very shocked, wondering, when did Subai's little turtle get this big? While drinking cola, Subai ordered the little turtle to finish the fight quickly. At Subai's command, the little turtle swung its huge claws at Li Ling, who couldn't even react to the attack. With just one move, the little turtle sent Li Ling flying. He crashed to the ground with a solid impact. Although he didn't get injured, he used his stone power to turn his back into stone. But Li Ling was too shocked after seeing how massive the little turtle was. Subai told Li Ling to just hold on a little longer because he wanted to finish his cola before taking him down. Since Li Ling became very angry, he stood up, thinking it was just a sneak attack and that he must focus all his power. Li Ling said, "Subai, you think you're tough? Then let's see who's tougher." With that, Li Ling used his stone transformation and fully turned his body into stone. He jumped high into the sky and used his rock fist skill to attack the little turtle. But before his punch could even land, Subai's little turtle hit him with its claws and sent him flying off the field. Instructor Fu was shocked that the fight was over and Subai actually won. Subai's seniors were also very shocked, admitting that this turtle is too strong. The principal praised Subai, saying, "The younger generation is truly formidable." From the audience, a guy asked others, "Is the captain of Qingfu Martial University actually an idiot? How could he not dodge such a big slap? The speed doesn't even seem that fast." Another guy sitting beside him said, "Bro, it's clear you didn't study physics well. The speed of that turtle doesn't seem fast, but that's because it's so big." Amazed by the little turtle's power, a guy said, "Even a mid-tier bronze-level ability user can't stop Subai's turtle's attack. This turtle is unstoppable, a creature that can slay a golden-level fierce beast." How could it be so easy to deal with? Fan Chao was also very shocked because he knew that the little turtle wasn't this strong before. The host came on and announced that in the first match, Jiangzhou Martial University's Su Bai won. After that, the second contestant from Qingyun Martial University, Zhang Zhuan, came onto the stage. Zhang Zhuan was a mid-bronze rank blade user from Qinghun Martial University. She took out her blade and thought, I'll rely on speed to win, and I can't let that turtle get close to me. Thinking that, she charged at the little turtle with full speed, changing her direction repeatedly to confuse it. The host told the audience that Xuan was using her speed advantage, constantly staying outside the range of the giant turtle's attacks. Hearing that, the whole audience shouted, "Yes, that's how you fight. The guy who went up earlier was dumb." All simultaneously as the golem swung out of it, a Pokemon riding on the nature of a Yan was thinking that as long as she found an opportunity, a strike will be enough to win. Instructor Fu was a little worried, seeing that Zhu had been dodging and looking for an opportunity, while the turtle couldn't hit her at all due to its speed. The seniors were also worried, thinking that Su Bai was still underestimating his opponent. They all were concerned for Su Bai, but Su Bai was enjoying his snack with cola. Zhuan moved to the right side of the little turtle. The little turtle attacked with full power, even destroying the ground. But Zhuan jumped into the air and dodged the turtle's attack. Landing on the ground, Zhuan said, "Su Bai, your turtle is really strong, but I can choose to directly deal with the beast Tamer." Saying that, she jumped to attack Su Bai, thinking it was too late for him to reverse the situation now. Su Bai was still drinking his cola. Instructor Fu got scared seeing that Xuan was about to attack Su Bai directly, and Yanran was also very worried, asking Su Bai to be careful. Lian strikes at Su Bai with her sword, saying, "Su Bai, you lost." But before her sword could even touch him, the little turtle hit her and sent her flying. The little turtle used its tail to attack, which Suen was unaware it could do. Seeing the little turtle's attack, the audience jumped in excitement, calling that move the turtle's divine tail swipe. Yanran also let out a sigh of relief as it was a close call. Su Bai's seniors were shocked to see that Su Bai won again, asking, "Isn't that too fast?" Both Instructor Fu and the principal admitted that Su Bai is really strong. Mortal Sense walked down the mountain and proceeded to find a resting place. She had just finished her meal, but on the way, Xuan lost her sword, so there was no point in fighting anymore. On the other hand, Shu also had the most beautiful eyes in the world, and Xuan also walked over to Xuan. She told the little turtle that it was too close to him, and then he told Xuan to hurry up and heal herself, as his little turtle's strike was a bit too harsh this time. Xuan was seriously injured, and some doctors took her off the stage on a stretcher. On the other hand, Su Bai returned to his turtle and said, "All right, I'm going to get serious now." He stood beside his little turtle and asked, "Who's coming up to challenge me next?" Has already defeated 2 members of the Qingyun Martial University squad. When the third opponent comes to fight, Su Bai's little turtle doesn't even give her any chance and hits her with its huge claws. The third opponent is defeated in just 1 move, without Su Bai even giving the little turtle any instructions. Su Bai starts to get bored and asks for the next opportunity, but even the 4th opponent is defeated easily by the little turtle. Su Bai doesn't even look at the opponent, starts taking self. After Su Bai's little turtle defeats the 5th opponent, the host comes onto the arena and announces that Jiangzhou Martial University's Su Bai wins. The whole audience is shocked, seeing that Su Bai from Jiangzhou Martial University ate peanuts the entire time, relying on a turtle to fight in the ring, and still won. They have never seen such an unbelieved consensus in their whole lives. All the girls became Su Bai's fans. Weifu Yanran was also very happy to see Su Bai win. Han Jin praised Su Bai for winning 5 separate hurdle meets. Fan Chao gave Su Bai a name, "One Man 5 Wins." All the audience followed Su Bai and started calling him "One Man 5 Wins," to which Fan Chao responded, "Chicken." While leaving the area, Su Bai felt very embarrassed when he heard what people were calling him. He wondered why it sounded so weird, as if he were being called a turtle. When Su Bai returned to his team, Instructor Fu patted his shoulder, telling him that he did well. The principal was also very happy to see that Subai single-handedly defeated the formidable King Shan Marshall University, bringing great honor to James Marshall University. Subai was shocked when she learned of the Subai. Thank you all for the prize. Then, the instructor turns to everyone and tells them to go rest for a bit because the morning matches are over. After the lunch break, they will continue with the 2nd round later. The principal tells all the students that during the league, the cafeteria is open to all contestants for free. Everyone can go and enjoy the food to replenish their energy. Subai gets very happy and immediately goes to the cafeteria with his little turtle. While Subai is eating and resting, all the other universities are planning their strategies. At Fuku Marshall University, Harris explains to his professors that if they will prepare themselves for the worst-case scenario, Fuku Marshall University will likely give them that. His bewildered mind wrapped itself in a cloud of fear. Subi raced for the vestibule and back down the raised stairs to the basement where the paramilitary officers were waiting. The principal points at a purple-haired boy named Maokai, telling him that if they really face Jianzhou Marshall University, Maokai has to handle Subi using his distance and use poison to take down Subi's turtles. Subi refuses to obey his orders and tries to rescue Subi, saying that when the time comes he will keep his distance and use poison to take down Subi's turtles. On the other hand, at Zinman Marshall University's lounge, Zinman University's principal asks his students not to be discouraged. He tells them that Subai is strong, but his weaknesses are also very obvious. Finding the right opportunity to bypass his turtle's defense line and then defeating Subai is the only way to win. A student named Li Feng comes forward saying, "The principal is right. If we face Subai this afternoon, I'll handle him." Actually, Zhang Xuan's strategy this morning was correct. It's just that she wasn't fast enough. Sinmin University's principal agrees with Lai Feng, since Lai Feng is a speed-focused fighter with enhanced combat skills. Sinmin University's principal tells him to find the right moment to attack Subai. After some time, the host comes onto the arena. He compliments the morning matches, saying they were truly exciting. The students demonstrated spirited determination and a tenacious, fearless spirit. The host tells the audience that the 2nd round of the competition will begin shortly, and now they will proceed with a random draw. All the teams start to gather in the arena. Seeing Jiangzhou Marshall University's team coming, a guy from the audience says, "I feel like the other members of Jiangzhou Marshall University don't even need to compete this time. Subai alone can defeat all the other schools." It's really great to have such a teammate. Hearing that, another guy from the audience laughs and tells the first guy not to get complacent because this is still within the province, when facing Marshall Universities from other provinces. Jiangzhou Marshall University will still be beaten so badly that it won't be able to hold its head up. Students from Jiangzhou Marshall University. He agrees with him, because Jiangzhou Marshall University has always struggled to hold its heads up before, but now with Subai they are even more irrelevant. While they were talking, the host announced the results of the 2nd round draw for the Provincial League. The first match was between Jiangzhou Marshall University and Zinmin Marshall University. The second match was between Fuchuan Marshall University and Annie Marshall University. The third match was between Longying Marshall University and Qingyunyun Marshall University. And the fourth match was between Zichang Marshall University and Jiangsu Marshall University. The second round starts, and for the first match, Su Bai from Jiangzhou Marshall University and Li Feng from Zinmin Marshall University come onto the arena. Seeing Su Bai coming into arena, Li Feng said, "As expected, Jiangzhou Marshall University have sent Su Bai to take the lead. Luckily, we've already prepared a strategy specifically for him." Lai Feng starts stretching. When Su Bai, who was very relaxed, saw Lai Feng stretching, he asked Lai Feng to don't be so nervous, telling him that he just have to endure for a bit and it'll be over soon. The host gives signal and the match begins. Captain of Zinmin Marshall University Lai Feng was a high-level bronze rank hunter. He immediately get ready to attack, telling Su Bai to don't be too arrogant. Li Feng used his clear wind step skill and charged at the little turtle. He was so fast that it created an afterimage. When the little turtle tried to attack Li Feng, it could not touch Li Feng's afterimage, only his real body. Li Feng got behind the little turtle and, with all his power, kicked it. But his attack didn't deal any damage to the little turtle. Li Feng was surprised to see that he couldn't even break through the little turtle's defense. The little turtle used its tail to attack Li Feng, but he jumped and dodged the little turtle's tail. This continued. The little turtle tried to attack Li Feng, but Lai Feng easily dodged its attack. The people in the audience were surprised to see that the little turtle was unable to hit Li Feng. A guy laughed at the little turtle, asking others to look at how Subai's turtle seemed provoked by Li Feng and was angry, howling repeatedly. A girl asked her friend what would happen if Li Feng suddenly charged at Subai. Does he have any chance of winning? Her friend told her that Li Feng might actually have a chance because right now Li Feng is just bullying Subai's turtle for being so dim-witted. The girls who were cheering for Subai before now start cheering for Li Feng, shouting, "Come on, Li Feng." In the arena, Li Feng runs away from Little Turtle, provoking it to chase him. Subai's seniors immediately realize that Li Feng is trying to lure Little Turtle away from Subai. Instructor Fu starts to get worried, wondering what Subai is doing and why he isn't coming up with a solution. A senior looks closely and tells Instructor Fu that it seems like Subai is looking for something. Well, he was right. While Little Turtle was fighting with Li Feng, Subai was looking for a cola in his bag because his lunch had been a bit salty. He was very carefree and started drinking cola in the middle of the fight. On the other hand, little by little, Li Feng was luring Little Turtle away from Subai. The whole audience started cheering for Li Feng. After creating quite a bit of distance between Little Turtle and Subai, Li Feng thought, at this distance, even a tail swipe won't work. But when he turned around to attack Subai, he was shocked to see that Subai was drinking cola. He got very angry and charged at Subai, shouting, "Subai, you're looking down on me too much!" Li Feng jumped to attack Subai, yelling that he would make him pay the price. But Subai didn't even look at him and simply called for his Little Turtle. Just as he called, a yellow light shot toward Li Feng. Before Li Feng could hit Subai, his body turned yellow and froze in midair. Li Feng was shocked. He couldn't understand what was going on or why he couldn't move. The yellow light came from Little Turtle's black tortoise illusion form. Subai ordered Little Turtle to stop playing around and to hurry up and finish. During the battle, Little Turtle brought Li Feng closer to itself and activated its black tortoise gravity ability. It then began gathering energy in its mouth. Seeing this, Li Feng grew frightened and nervously asked Subai to wait, wondering what Little Turtle was about to do. However, Subai's Little Turtle didn't stop. It unleashed a powerful energy beam from its mouth, which struck Li Feng and sent him flying into the stadium wall. The impact was so intense that it created a hole in the wall. The sheer power of Little Turtle's attack shocked the entire audience. Those who had been mocking it finally realized the truth. It wasn't that Li Feng was weak, but that Subai was overwhelmingly strong. One spectator even commented that if they were in Li Feng's place, they would surrender immediately. There was no way to fight someone as powerful as Subai. Seeing Li Feng's battered condition, a girl from his team turned to their principal and anxiously asked what they should do, as Li Feng was already gravely injured. Left with no other option, the principal of Shinmin Martial University decided to forfeit the match. A few minutes later, the host announced, "Unfortunately, due to the overwhelming strength of Subai from Jiangzhou Martial University, Shinmin Martial University has decided to forfeit the match." He then announced that the next university to face off against Jiangzhou Martial University would be Fuchuan Martial University. The audience was surprised to hear the announcement, wondering how Shinmin Martial University could forfeit without even fighting. However, deep down, they all understood that Subai was indeed too strong, so forfeiting was better than being humiliated in vain. Hearing that Shinmin had voluntarily forfeited, Instructor Fu said, "Subai can conserve his strength for Fuchuan now." Upon hearing this, one of Subai's seniors got annoyed and asked Instructor Fu, "Why does Subai even need to conserve his strength? He hasn't even moved a single muscle to fight." However, another senior chimed in, telling the others that the next fight would be interesting because the captain of Fuchuan was a poison tail user, which wouldn't be so easy to deal with. After a few minutes, Subai from Jiangzhou Martial University and Mao Kai from Fuchuan Martial University entered the arena. But just as the match began, Mao Kai asked Subai to wait, saying, "Let's not rush into the fight yet." Mao Kai, a mid-level bronze rank hunter, walked towards Subai with one hand hidden behind his back, saying, "Subai, I admit you're very strong, and I know I'm no match for you. So, how about we make a deal?" Subai, who was drinking cola, was surprised to hear this and asked Mao Kai what kind of deal he was talking about. Mao Kai walked a little closer to Subai and told him that he admitted he might not be a match for Subai in this round, but really wanted to discuss beast taming with him. Subai was very confused upon hearing that Mao Kai wanted to discuss beast taming during a match. He couldn't understand what Mao Kai was up to. Meanwhile, Mao Kai, still hiding one hand behind his back, was continuously mobilizing his poison elements. It didn't take long for Subai to realize what was going on. Mao Kai was trying to stall for time, because it takes a long time for Poison Tooth ability users to mobilize their elements. Subai immediately ordered his little turtle to attack. Seeing Little Turtle charging toward him, Mao Kai understood that Subai had realized his plan. However, it was too late. Mao Kai had already mobilized his poison elements. He unleashed a poison fog toward Little Turtle, confidently telling Subai that even a divine beast couldn't escape his poison fog. The fog quickly surrounded Little Turtle and began moving towards Subai. Seeing the poison fog approaching, Subai realized there was no way to dodge it. A senior from Subai's team panicked, exclaiming, "Subai is too careless. I heard that Mao Kai poisoned quite a few high-level beasts in the previous trials." Instructor Fu also panicked, asking what they should do. However, Subai's principal remained calm and reassured the others, saying, "Don't panic, the match isn't over yet." When the poison fog hit, Little Turtle immediately held its breath and closed his eyes. Little Turtle couldn't see inside the poison fog, but Mao Kai was unaffected. Smiling, he passed through Little Turtle easily, thinking, "Subai, let's see how long you can last in my poisoned fog. You were too careless. Once I released my poisonous fog, the match is over." As Mao Kai walked past Little Turtle, he saw Subai's shadow sitting on the ground. He realized that Subai was meditating to resist the poison fog. However, Subai wasn't just facing the poison fog. Mao Kai took out his poison claws and leapt high to attack Subai. But before his poison claws could even touch Subai, a shield appeared and blocked his attack. Subai smiled, noticing the sneak attack from behind in the poison fog, and said, "Mao Kai, too bad you ran into me." Mao Kai was shocked, wondering how this was possible. As a beast tamer, how could Subai withstand his full-powered poison claw attack in the poison fog? Subai's principal was stunned to see Subai using shared origin. A confused instructor Fu asked the principal, "What is shared origin?" The principal explained that it was a high-level beast tamer talent and was surprised to see that Subai could already transfer. The beast's defense was directed at himself in the arena after blocking Mao Kai's attack. Subai said, "Let's end this quickly because this poison fog stinks." Just as he said that, Little Turtle turned around and looked at Mao Kai. Upon seeing Little Turtle's red glowing eyes, Mao Kai became very scared because his location had been exposed. Little Turtle didn't even give Mao Kai a chance to react and attacked with its claws, sending him flying out of the arena. Seeing Subai win, Fan Kao jumped in happiness, shouting, "Brother Su is insane." He sent the poison ability user flying out of the poison fog. Waifu Yanran was also very happy, but seeing how powerful Subai had become, she said that she wouldn't let him get too far ahead of her. The whole audience started cheering for Subai and his turtle, calling him one man. 5 Wins the host then appeared on the big screen and announced that, since student Mao Kai of Fuchuan Martial University was unable to continue fighting, Fuchuan Martial University had chosen to forfeit. Therefore, the winner of this provincial league was Jiangzhou Martial University. After winning the competition, Subai was very happy and proud of his beast, Little Turtle. He patted the Little Turtle and said, "It's time to wrap up." When Subai came down from the arena, his principal praised him, telling him that he had brought honor to Jiangzhou Martial University this time. Well done. Hearing his principal's praise, Subai asked, "In that case, can I get some more medicine resources?" Hearing this, the principal understood that Subai was trying to take advantage of him again. But he wouldn't fall for it so easily. The principal tried to change the topic and pointed at Subai's seniors, telling them that, since Jiangzhou Martial University won the provincial league, the military would award them military merit points, which they could exchange for resources at the logistics department. Hearing that, an annoyed senior asked the principal, "Since they only sent out Subai, do military merit points have anything to do with us?" The principal was at a loss for words upon hearing that. He changed the topic again, saying, "In 3 days, we'll be heading to Luo City to participate in the All Warzone League. Do you have confidence?" Subai immediately replied that they did have confidence. Hearing that, the principal said, "Good." He turned around and added, "Since everyone's tired, Go back and have a good rest to prepare for the Warzone League in 3 days. Subai tried calling the principal again to ask him. Subai tried to ask about the resources, but the principal didn't even look back. While leaving, he told Subai that he was looking forward to seeing his outstanding performance in 3 days. Seeing the principal run away, Subai called him an old fox because he ran so fast when it came to resources. Then, after some time, it was broadcast on the news that the Provincial League of the 100 Schools League had now concluded. The top 3 were Imperial Capital Martial University, Magic City Martial University, and Great Wall Guard Martial University. Many talented individuals performed exceptionally well in this league, but the most dazzling of them all was Subai from Zhangjiangzhou Martial University, who won all 3 matches, 1 versus 5, securing the overall championship for Zhangjiou Province. Students of Zhangjiou Martial University were amazed to see that Subai was in the news again. Now those fangirls really wanted to meet him. Meanwhile, Subai went to his university's training room. He was happy to finally find a quiet place. He took out his little cat from his bag, telling it that he knew it was eager. But there would definitely be a chance for it to go on stage later. Subai exchanged his military merit points for 4 high-grade silver beast cores. He showed them to the little cat, telling it to eat them sparingly. He first gave 1 core to the little cat, and upon seeing the core, the little cat's eyes lit up, and it immediately ate the core. Just as little cat ate that core, its whole body started shining, releasing yellow energy from its body. Subai immediately received a system notification telling him that his ordinary high-grade common bronze rank cat had upgraded to a sharp gold white tiger. Little Cat's sacred beast white tiger bloodline had been activated, and it acquired the sharp gold gale talent. Subai was amazed to see that his little cat leveled up after eating just 1 core and that its white tiger bloodline had been activated. Subai immediately gave the other 3 remaining beast cores to his little cat, telling it to eat a few more. Seeing the 3 more cores, little cat jumped in happiness and started eating them immediately. Subai told it to eat slowly, saying, "No one's going to steal them from you." Subai thought that after eating these, his little cat should be able to level up again, but after the little cat ate those 3 cores, it didn't change. Subai was very confused, seeing that his little cat ate all of them and there was no reaction. He wondered if those high-grade silver beast cores were fake, but suddenly, little cat's whole body started shining again in yellow light. This time, the light was 10 times stronger than the first time, and when the light stopped, Subai was too shocked to see his little cat. The little cat's body had completely transformed. It grew taller than Subai and looked even more amazing. Seeing that, Subai thought it was way cooler than Little Turtle's transformation. A notification came, telling Subai that his sharp gold white tiger had upgraded to intermediate bronze level. Immediately, Subai checked his little cat status window. Little cat had leveled up. To intermediate bronze level, its white tiger bloodline has been activated by 30%. Its attributes have greatly improved and its talent has been enhanced. Currently, its constitution is 158, defense is 105, agility is 295, and spirit is 60. Little cat has 3 talents. The first talent is sharp gold claws. It consumes a certain amount of physical energy to launch 100 attacks on a single enemy in a very short period of time. The first attack's power is 150% of the basic attack value, and after each attack, the amplitude of the next attack increases by 2%. The second talent is Sharp Gold Spirit. It consumes a certain amount of energy to cover the whole body with sharp gold energy. Each attack has a 200% tearing effect. It can be used in combination with Sharp Gold Claws to greatly increase the damage caused by Sharp Gold Claws. The third talent is Sharp Gold Ghost. It consumes a large amount of physical energy, causing movement speed and attack speed to increase by 300%. It can be used in combination with Sharp Gold Claws, allowing Sharp Gold Claws to complete 100 attacks instantly. Seeing Little Cat's status window, Subai became very happy, saying it was worth giving Little Cat 4 high-grade silver beast cores because these stats are insane. Subai petted the little cat, telling it that he was counting on it for the Warzone League. Little Cat became very happy to hear that and hugged Subai. Meanwhile, at the Imperial capital, where the Warzone League was going to be held in 3 days in a huge mansion, a man, while watching Subai's match on television, said, "This Subai is interesting. It seems he has a lot of secrets." The man ordered his subordinate to go and investigate Subai, saying maybe his turtle is even more ridiculous than Luo fans back then. His subordinate said yes and left. 3 days later, at the Lohe Martial University competition venue, teams from all over the country arrived for the competition. They were all amazed to see the venue, with many commenting, "As expected of Lohe Martial University." The competition venue was several times larger than others. When Subai and his team entered, they saw the entire audience cheering for Lohe Martial University to win the championship. Subai and his seniors were confused, seeing everyone supporting Lohe Martial University. The principal of Jiangzhou Martial University informed Subai and the others that Lohe Martial University was trying to intimidate them. While walking, Su-bai noticed an empty area and asked his principal, "Why is there an empty area over there?" The principal told Su-bai that only 9 martial universities were participating this time, and 1 university had voluntarily forfeited. Su-bai then asked the principal, "Since there are only 9 martial universities participating, doesn't that mean 1 university will have a bye during the random draw?" The principal confirmed, saying yes, and it all comes down to luck. Whoever gets the bye will advance directly to the next round. Hearing that it was all up to luck, Su-bai prayed to God that they wouldn't get the bye during the draw later, because he was counting on playing more matches to earn military contributions to feed those gluttons. He was referring to his turtle and cat. Su-bai's senior stepped forward and asked the principal to please allow him to participate this time, no matter what. Hearing that, the other seniors also approached the principal, requesting to participate as well. Su-bai was shocked to see that all of them wanted to participate. The principal laughed and reassured all the seniors, saying that this time everyone would have the opportunity to compete. As they walked toward their designated area, the principal told them to wait for Su-bai to draw lots first. A few minutes later, when the draw was complete, the host appeared on the big screen to announce the matchups. The first match was between Luohi Martial University and Fuchuan Martial University, followed by the university with the bye. This round is Jiangzhou Martial University. Su-bai was shocked to hear that because now he would have fewer chances to fight. Su-bai's principal laughed and told him that he was truly their lucky charm. Instructor Fu was also very happy, as they skipped the first round and went straight to the next. Only Su-bai was sad, thinking about how unlucky he was to draw the bye as he wanted to compete. Then, after a few minutes, the first round matches began. Students from both Luohe Martial University and Fuquan Martial University entered the arena. When the match began, Fuquan Martial University's contestant struggled to hold on as Luohe Martial University's contestant pressed the attack. 2 hours later, all the matches concluded. The host appeared on the big screen, announcing that the first round quarterfinals had ended and that they would now announce the results of the second round draw. Shocked herself, the host announces that the university with a bye this round is still Jiangzhou Martial University. Hearing that, people in the audience were very shocked, asking, "What the hell is going on? Is there some kind of shady business happening?" One guy asked, "What kind of luck is this? Jiangzhou Martial University hasn't done anything, just sitting in the audience watching the matches." Another guy said, "I traveled all this way just to watch Su-bai sitting in the ring eating peanuts and drinking cola. A bye once is understandable, but why a second time?" A girl then suggested, could it be that Luohe Martial University is afraid of facing Su-bai directly, so they deliberately gave Jiangzhou Martial University a bye? Others in the audience agreed with the girl, saying that the competition system was unfair. How could such a strong competitor like Su-bai keep getting a bye? This is disrespectful to the opponents. Hearing the complaints from the audience, a representative from the military stepped forward to clarify that after a thorough inspection, there was no evidence of any bias or foul play by Jiangzhou Martial University, and the competition would continue. Hearing the announcement, Su-bai's principal became very happy, as this meant they had ranked 3rd in their competition zone. As long as they won one more match, they could participate in the final of the 5 major competition zones. On the other hand, Su-bai was shocked and asked, "How is it another bye? Can't they let me compete?" Then, 1 hour later, the host announced that the exciting moment was coming soon. The final match of this round's competition zone was about to begin. The next match was Jiangzhou Martial University versus Lanzhou Martial University. But even when it was Jiangzhou Martial University and Lanzhou Martial University, the people from Luohe Martial University were cheering for Luohe. On the other hand, when it was finally Jiangzhou Martial University's turn, all of Su-bai's seniors surrounded their principal, asking him to let them go first this time. The principal asked everyone to please calm down, saying, "Although we've been very lucky, we still can't be complacent." The principal pointed at Luo Yonghao and Bai Ningbing, telling them to go up first and second. After them, Wang Qingqing would go, followed by Hu Qingshu, and finally Su-bai would go last for the grand finale. Hearing the principal's fight order, all the seniors became very happy and excited, saying, "All right, principal, we'll definitely bring glory to the school." Only Su-bai was disappointed, because it seemed like there was no chance for him in this match. When the match began, Uchi Yoyoung-kyung went first into the arena. He tried to take on a bronze mid-level opponent with his bronze low-level strength, and in the end, he lost narrowly. Next, Bai Ningbing stepped onto the stage and immediately went into a berserk state, completely abandoning defense and fighting recklessly. He actually forced his opponent to retreat continuously, and Jiangzhou Martial University won. The next one was Wang Qingqing, the school beauty. She showed that her combat skills were no joke, using a soft whip technique that combined both offense and defense, sending her opponent flying out of the ring. Jiangzhou Martial University won another match. Instructor Fu was very happy to see that they had won again, because now they only needed to win one more match to win this round. Seeing the other students, Subai's principal felt like the strength of the other students had skyrocketed. He wondered, could it be that Subai had influenced them? On the other hand, Subai was crying inside because his seniors were taking all the military contributions. He wondered when it would finally be his turn. Then, for the next match, Hu Qingshu from Jiangzhou Martial University entered the arena. When he stepped in, he asked the two remaining students from Lanza Martial University to come together, saying it would save him time. Hearing this, the students of Lanza Martial University became very angry, telling Hu Qingshu not to get too cocky or he would lose miserably. But the host informed everyone that the competition rules allowed one person to challenge multiple opponents at the same time. Hearing that, both of the students from Lanze Martial University stepped onto the stage. Then, the match began. Just as the match started, Hu Qingshu closed his eyes and concentrated all his energy into one point. Immediately, a huge spiritual tree appeared behind Hu Qingshu. This was a Wood 2 supernatural ability. With one swing of his finger, Hu Qingshu shot the leaves of the massive spiritual tree towards the students of Lanze University. When the leaves touched the students, they cut their skin. Both students were surprised by the attack. One senior student told the other to be careful, saying, "These leaves are suspicious. Just hold on. Hu Qingshu's psychic power won't last much longer." Subai was surprised that a wood tube user was able to summon a millennium-old maple tree like this. He admitted that Hu Qingshu's psychic power was truly terrifying. Even Subai's principal was impressed, seeing that Qingshu's strength had increased again. The principal thought to himself that Hu Qingshu was truly living up to being from that family. People in the audience were also amazed by Jiangzhou Martial University's matches, saying, "The current batch of Jiangzhou University students is truly full of hidden talents. One dark horse after another keeps emerging." "Even Senior Hu Qingshu is this strong?" a guy from the audience commented, "but I still think Subai is stronger. After all, his tamed beast has already defeated a golden ranged one." On the other hand, Hu Qingshu's leaf attack was getting stronger by the second. The two students from Lanze University were struggling in the middle of the leaf attack. They began to panic because there were no signs of weakening in Hu Qingshu's assault. To end the match, Hu Qingshu gathered hundreds of leaves together and shot them at the students of Lanze University to break through. In that attack, both students from Lanze University were sent flying, unable to defend themselves. They fell out of the arena and lost consciousness. The host announced that in this round's competition, Jiangzhou Martial University won. On the other hand, Lubohei Martial University also won their match. The host congratulated both Jiangzhou Martial University and Lubohei Martial University for advancing to the national finals. After winning, Hu Qingshu returned to his university's venue. The principal praised Hu Qingshu, telling him that his performance had surprised everyone. Hu Qingshu thanked his principal. The principal then told everyone that the real hero of this competition was still Subai. Subai was shocked to hear that he was considered a hero. He thought the principal was making fun of him for not being able to go on stage. The principal told everyone that if it weren't for Subai getting 2 consecutive buys in the draws, they wouldn't have won so easily. Everyone was at a loss for words. The principal then told them that since they were all exhausted, they should get some rest and be ready because 1 week from now, they would be heading to the national finals. He told the students that this time, in addition to the military contribution rewards earned by each student in the competition, the school would provide extra resources as training rewards. Subai was shocked to hear that because he was coming back empty-handed this time. He had to figure out how to gather some resources to feed those 2 gluttons. On the other hand, Subai's seniors became very happy hearing the principal's announcement and started cheering, saying, Long live the principal! Meanwhile, at the Lin family mansion in Waifu, Yan Ran was practicing with some robots when her uncle Wen came to tell her it was time to eat. Yan Ran, while practicing, kicked a robot and sent it flying. She then turned to her uncle and told him that she wasn't hungry yet and wanted to practice for another hour. Hearing that, Uncle Wen sighed because ever since Subai participated in the 100 Schools League, all Yan Ran did every day was watch Subai's matches and practice like crazy, completely ignoring the balance between work and rest. Suddenly, Yan Ran called out to her Uncle Wen, telling him that the pills he gave her were almost used up. She asked if he could help her ask her father for more, because she wanted to increase her strength as quickly as possible, Yan Ran said. Her uncle agreed and left, feeling very annoyed. He knew that many top families in the imperial capital had proposed marriages to Yan Ran, but she had rejected them all with a single word. Her uncle was worried, wondering what kind of potion Subai had given her. Then, 7 days later, Subai and his team arrived at Magic City. When they arrived at the university, all the seniors were amazed to see a huge golden university gate. Looking at the gate closely, one senior asked if the gate was made of solid gold because it was sparkling. Another senior commented, "This is just too luxurious." But Subai was not impressed by the gate. He said, "This gate alone must have cost billions. What a waste." The principal told Subai that it cost more than just billions. The materials alone cost 1.8 billion, not to mention that the gate was built in 1 day by 20 gold level and 5 platinum level experts working together. The principal then asked Subai to look at the motto of Magic City Martial Arts University and the Grand Gate. It's all meant to showcase the spirit that only the strong can protect the nation. While they were talking, a black-haired man came to welcome the students from Jiangzhou Martial Arts University. The man greeted Principal Zhou and introduced himself as Jiang Ming, the vice president of the student council at Magic City Martial Arts University. Jiang welcomed them into Magic City Martial Arts University and asked them to please follow him. Principal Zhou said, "All right," and began following Jiang. While walking, one senior told another senior, "Magic City Martial Arts University sure knows how to put on airs. Their principal traveled all the way here in person, and they only sent a student council vice president to greet us." Another senior agreed, saying, "If it were someone from Imperial City Martial Arts University, their principal would come out personally to welcome us." While heading toward their rooms, Subai noticed a huge building on the campus and asked his principal, "What's that?" The principal told Subai, "That's the gravity adjustment training ground." Hearing that, Subai said, "If our academy had one of those, we could train at least 100 silver-level students every year." Subai's words hit the principal in the heart. After some time, everyone arrived at the hotel. Zhang told Subai and his team that this was the hotel where they would be staying and dining. Zhang explained that the first floor offered a 24-hour buffet, with all the ingredients being meat from ferocious beasts of various species, cooked by top chefs. It was very beneficial for enhancing a martial artist's blood energy, and there was no limit to how much they could eat. Subai asked Zhang again if it was really unlimited. Zhang replied. Hearing that, Subai jumped for joy and immediately ran toward the buffet, telling Little Turtle and Cat that they were in for a feast. Surprised by Subai's reaction, Zhang asked his principal if Subai was starving or something. One of the seniors told Zhang that they couldn't imagine. "How much can this turtle of Subai eat?" one senior asked. Another senior said to the others, "If Subai goes in, will there be anything left for us to eat?" Hearing that, all the seniors hurried to the buffet, or they would go hungry tonight. Seeing them like that, Zhang was at a loss for words. The principal laughed and said, "Young people, so full of energy." The next day, when Subai's team entered the competition venue, they were surprised by how big it was. One senior commented, "The competition venue at Magic City is really on another level. I've only ever seen such a large venue on TV." Subai's principal was already at the venue. He asked all his students to stop acting as if they had never seen the world before. The principal then explained the competition rules to them. He told them that this final tournament features martial arts universities from 13 schools. The Great Wall Guard's military academy, being directly under the military, automatically enters the top 4, so there will be no buys. Surprised, one senior asked the principal, "Why does the Great Wall Guard's military academy get a free pass to the top 4? Other seniors agreed, saying it's so unfair. The principal explained, It's because the Great Wall Guard's military academy is a military genius training base. You may not know, but it's the only martial arts university located on the front lines of the battlefield against the multiracial invaders. The seniors were shocked to hear about a military genius training base. Even Subai was surprised to hear about an academy located on the front lines of the battlefield, saying, "That's intense." The principal told them, "That's why the national finals are full of hidden talents. Never underestimate anyone." He decided to let Subai take the lead, with Hu Qingsu anchoring. The whole team understood. The team cheered, confident that Jiangzhou Martial Arts University would win. After some time, the host appeared on the big screen and asked all the teachers and students to please settle down because the 100-school competition finals were about to begin. She then announced the draw for the first round of matches. The first match was between Jiangzhou Martial Arts University and Yokohama Martial Arts University. The second match was between Imperial City Martial Arts University and East China Martial Arts University. The third match was between Magic City Martial Arts University and Nanjing Martial Arts University. These three matches would take place simultaneously. Seeing the draw, Subai's principal said their luck wasn't bad as they didn't draw any of the top 3 universities in the first round. A senior commented that Yokohama Martial Arts University was about on par with them and asked the principal to let him go first. But before the principal could say anything, Subai intervened, saying he would go first. He wanted all the schools to know Jiangzhou Martial Arts University's attitude. Well, it was a straight lie because he just wanted to earn military merit for himself. Students from both universities entered the arena and the match began. As they entered, a student from Yokohama University immediately mocked Subai, saying, "Subai, your university made it to the finals, which is already impressive enough, but this is the end of the road for you." Subai completely ignored the student, opened his bag and took out the little turtle, telling it, "Let's finish this quickly." The little turtle emerged from the bag and immediately transformed into its second form, roaring loudly into the arena. New people in the audience were surprised to see that Jiangzhou Martial Arts University had actually sent a beast tamer to compete. Those who had seen the little turtle before were amazed to see it looked even bigger than before. Everyone was very excited, thinking this was going to be good. On the other hand, after seeing the size of the little turtle, the student from Yokohama Martial University became very scared. He said, "This is way too big. This has to be cheating. I don't accept this." But before he could finish his words, the little turtle hit the student and sent him flying out of the arena. The little turtle had already defeated the student, and Subai was still sitting in his chair, preparing to eat. Seeing the student defeated, Subai acted surprised and said, "You're that weak? I haven't even started eating my peanuts yet." The student from Yokohama Martial University thought that beast tamers were supposed to be. He told the girl that Subai's turtle has insane defense and strength, and it's definitely at the silver level. If someone had a beast like that, they would be crushing bronze-level martial artists like it's nothing. Meanwhile, in the arena, another student from Yokohama Martial University entered. Seeing Subai sitting on a stool and eating peanuts, the student became very angry and told Subai that he was humiliating them. She jumped towards Subai, shouting that she would make him pay, but Subai completely ignored her and continued reading his comic, saying, "This comic is really good." When the girl got near him, the little turtle shot an energy beam from its mouth and sent her flying. The host announced that Subai of Jiangzhou Martial Arts University won. Seeing that not only was Subai snacking on peanuts, but he also brought his own stool, a senior of Subai asked if this was the attitude he was talking about. Seeing this, Subai's principal sighed, saying that Subai really didn't know how to keep a low profile. Humiliating his opponent like this wasn't good. Now, how was he supposed to face Yokohama Martial University's principal, Chen, after this? The principal was saying that, but he was very happy inside. Hu Qingshu told his principal not to celebrate too early because Subai might meet a real challenge soon. He pointed at a different arena and asked the principal if that red-haired boy was the team captain from Imperial City Martial Arts University. The principal looked at that arena, where a red-haired boy from Imperial City Martial Arts University and a boy wearing a mask were fighting. The masked boy jumped to attack the red-haired boy, and when they collided, there was suddenly a huge explosion. When the smoke cleared, the masked boy was on the ground, and it was announced that Imperial City Martial Arts University won. The red-haired boy was a flame user. He apologized to his opponent, saying he had hit a little too hard. Seeing that, Subai's principal felt a little nervous. because the boy was a fire attribute martial artist and was at the peak of the silver level. Seeing a silver level fire attribute martial artist, Subai's seniors were shocked, asking, "Is this the terrifying strength of Imperial City Martial Arts University?" Wu Qingshu told the other seniors that if the Great Wall Guard's military academy doesn't step in, only Magic City Martial Arts University might be able to match them. While they were talking, Subai defeated another student from Yokohama Martial University. The host then announced on the big screen that Jiangzhou Martial Arts University had won the match. Subai and his little turtle were overjoyed upon hearing this. As he was celebrating, two people observed him from the side. One was the principal of Luohe Martial Arts University, and beside him stood Wang Ming-kun, a silver rank student from his university. Ming-kun asked his principal for permission to handle Subai, confidently stating that he would make Jiangzhou Martial Arts University experience the feeling of 1 versus 5. The principal agreed and advised Ming-kun to use his speed to win, warning him not to engage directly with the turtle. Ming-kun laughed and reassured his principal not to worry. Then, the host announced that the next match would be between Jiangzhou Martial Arts University and Luohe Martial Arts University. Following the announcement, Wang Ming-kun entered the arena, signaling the start of the match. He walked toward the little turtle and mockingly told Subai that he had been lucky in the last round, but wouldn't be as fortunate this time. Subai, however, didn't argue. Instead, he sat in his chair, opened his bag, and took out a cola. He was slightly excited to see that his opponent this time was a silver-ranked wind attribute ability user. Smirking, he declared that he would show Subai the strength of a silver rank. With that, he merged with the wind and transformed into a tornado, launching an attack on the little turtle, aiming to take it out. However, to his shock, he realized that Earth's gravity couldn't lock on to the little turtle. Changing tactics, he abandoned the turtle and went after Subai instead, thinking he could eliminate him before he even had a chance to react. He swiftly moved behind Subai and unleashed a wind blade attack, shouting, "Goodbye, bronze brat." Yet Subai remained unfazed. He was still drinking his cola, completely unconcerned, more annoyed by the wind making it difficult for him to eat his peanuts than by the actual attack. Seeing Subai's lack of reaction, Ming-kun grew even angrier and launched multiple wind blades, declaring that he would make Subai's defeat swift and painless. The wind blades struck, destroying the ground where Subai was sitting. As Ming-kun landed, he sneered, "Subai, I might have hit a little too hard. Go rest and recover." He was convinced he had won. However, as the smoke cleared, Subai emerged completely unscathed. He had used his little turtle's golden shell skill to form a protective barrier just before Ming-kun's attack landed. Looking at Ming-kun, Subai casually asked, "What did you just say?" Ming-kun was stunned to see Subai using source synchronization. He couldn't believe that someone had actually mastered Lo Fan's divine technique. Finishing his cola, Subai finally got a little serious. He glanced at Ming-kun and said, "You're a wind attribute ability user, confident in your speed, huh?" He then turned to his little turtle and called it back into his bag. Opening his bag again, he took out his little cat, smirking as he told Ming-kun, "Since you want to play with speed, then let's play using speed." Subai told his little cat that it was her time to shine. Seeing the small cat, Ming-kun burst into laughter and mocked Subai, asking if he was foolish enough to bring his pet cat into the match. Many people in the audience, seeing Subai and his little cat for the first time, also started laughing, asking each other which university he was from. A girl in the audience informed them that he was from Jiangzhou Martial Arts University. She complimented Subai, saying he was interesting for bringing his pet cat, and added that the little cat was adorable. She wanted to raise one too. Meanwhile, Subai's senior students were confused, wondering what he was doing. Was he mocking his opponent? First a small stool, then a cola, and now a pet cat? Worried, one senior asked the others if this strategy would work, considering that Subai's opponent was a wind attribute ability user. However, the principal of Jiangzhou Martial Arts University remained calm. He could tell that the little cat was no ordinary feline. He told the senior students not to rush to conclusions and just watch, because that was no ordinary cat. Ming-kun, unaware of this, continued laughing. He asked Subai to just bring out the turtle again, but Subai ignored him completely. Instead, he told his little cat, "Don't hit too hard. This is just a match, not a battlefield." The moment he said that, the little cat transformed into her beast form and let out a deafening roar. It was so loud that Min-kun instinctively covered his ears. Shocked, he wondered if the shadow he had just seen was his imagination. But when he looked at the little cat again, he was stunned. She had grown significantly larger and was now lunging toward him. The audience gasped in shock at the transformation. "That's no pet cat! That's clearly a big tiger! Maybe even a white tiger!" a man exclaimed. And another person sitting beside him responded, "I've seen white tigers in zoos, but none of them are as big as Subai's cat." Subai's seniors were equally stunned. They watched in disbelief as the little cat transformed into a massive white tiger. They all began wondering whether this was Subai's second tamed beast. One of them, still in shock, turned to the principal and asked, "How is it possible for Subai to have two tamed beasts? Even for a silver rank beast tamer, taming a second beast is extremely difficult." The principal simply smiled and said, "It seems Subai has more secrets than we know." Meanwhile, in the arena, Min-kun activated his super speed and struck the little cat's neck with a wind blade. His precision and speed were flawless, and the attack landed perfectly. However, when he turned to check on the little cat, he was shocked. The cat had vanished. "An afterimage?" he gasped. He couldn't believe it. How could that little cat be so fast? Subai's little cat began running around Min-kun at super speed, leaving behind multiple afterimages. Min-kun was in complete disbelief. "Impossible. I won't admit it. There's no way that little cat is faster than the wind." Frustrated, he turned towards Subai, who was casually sitting in the corner. "Forget the cat. As long as I defeat Subai, I win," he thought. Determined, Min-kun charged at Subai at full speed. However, before he could reach him, the little cat was already there, blocking his path. She raised her massive paw to strike. Min-kun was too stunned to react. "This is impossible!" he shouted. But he had no time to dodge. In a single, powerful swipe, Subai's little cat sent Min-kun flying out of the arena. Min-kun hit the ground with a solid impact and lost consciousness. The host appeared on the big screen and announced, "Jiangzhou Martial Arts University, Subai wins." The audience was in shock. Subai, a mid-tier bronze rank, had just defeated a silver rank captain from a prestigious university. A man in the crowd commented, "That was almost complete domination. Is this even real?" A girl from Jiangzhou Martial Arts University asked, "Why does it feel like Subai's white tiger is even fiercer than his turtle? What's the deal with this big tiger?" Regardless of what the audience was thinking, one thing was clear. Subai had won, and the entire arena erupted in cheers. The judges panel, one judge turned to the others and asked, "I've never heard of this Subai guy before. What year is he at Jiangzhou Martial Arts University?" Another judge, seated nearby, commented, "Even the top students from elite universities in the capital and the army aren't this strong." He continued, "Jiangzhou Martial Arts University actually produced such a monster this year. They're about to rise in the rankings." Meanwhile, at the Imperial City Martial Arts University's rest area, a student from Imperial City Martial Arts University scoffed, "That Min-kun from Luhui Martial Arts University is too weak." Looking at Subai on the screen, another student clenched his fists in anger and said, "That country bumpkin bringing two tamed beasts to freeload on our tens of thousands worth of buffet? If we meet him, we won't let him off easy." The Imperial City Martial Arts University captain, Zixuan, laughed and told his teammates, "Subai is too cocky. If we face him in the semi-finals, beat him to a pulp." His teammates nodded in agreement, saying, "That country bumpkin needs to be taught a lesson." Back in the arena, Subai's little cat continued dominating her matches. She easily overpowered the second participant from Luohe Martial Arts University, completely crushing him. When the third participant entered the arena, the little cat sent him flying in just 2 seconds, winning the match instantly. The fourth opponent was an ice attribute user who quickly created an ice wall to block the little cat's attack. But his defense didn't last long. Her overwhelming strength shattered the wall, and Subai won the fourth match as well. After the match, the host appeared on the big screen and announced, "Congratulations to Jiangzhou Martial Arts University for advancing to the top 4. The entire audience erupted in cheers. "Jiangzhou Martial Arts University rises to the top," they chanted. Seeing Su-bai win and advance to the top 4, Jiangzhou Martial Arts University's principal was so overwhelmed with emotion that he started crying. Heaven has eyes. Our Jiangzhou Martial Arts University has finally made it to the top 4, he exclaimed. When Su-bai returned to his team, all his seniors praised him enthusiastically. One excited senior said, "Now let's see who dares to look down on Jiangzhou Martial Arts University." The principal rushed towards Su-bai, grabbing his hand. "Su-bai, you truly didn't let us down," he said with tears in his eyes. Then, with a proud smile, he added, "You are the greatest contributor to Jiangzhou Martial Arts University in centuries." Su-bai remained humble, responding, "It's my duty." The principal patted his shoulder and told him to sit down. Holding Su-bai's hand firmly, he said, "Making it to the top 4 completes our mission. This will be the most glorious page in our university's history." Turning to the other students, he declared, "Rest assured, your contributions to the university will be richly rewarded." Su-bai was shocked. "Wait, aren't there still the top 4 matches? How is the mission already completed?" he asked. It didn't take long for Su-bai to realize his old principal's true intentions. He was planning to give up and hand over the championship's billions of resources to another university. But Su-bai wouldn't accept that. The principal told Su-bai that their goal of securing a top 6 position and aiming for the top 4 had already been achieved. Then, looking at Su-bai, he asked, "You're not thinking of challenging the 3 top-tier universities, are you?" Su-bai's seniors were shocked upon hearing that he wanted to challenge the top-tier universities. Confused, Su-bai asked his principal, "Why can't I challenge them?" Without waiting for an answer, Su-bai immediately stood up and said, "Look at Madu Martial University. Just their gate alone cost 1.8 billion. Even if Jiangzhou Martial University becomes the 4th-ranked school, we wouldn't dare to be so extravagant." Turning to his seniors, he declared, "In my opinion, we should aim for 1st place and rebuild our university gate. We can't let down the expectations of the people of Jiangzhou. We must strive for the championship." Hearing Su-bai's words, the other seniors were inspired and told their principal, "Su-bai is right. We can't give up like this." One senior, looking at Su-bai, admitted, "Although I find you quite annoying, your performance proves you're a worthy captain." They all agreed that Su-bai would lead and arrange their strategy for the top 4 matches. Hearing their determination, the principal stood up and praised them, saying, "Your enthusiasm and courage are commendable." Then he instructed them, "Let's go back and rest. Prepare well for tomorrow's top 4 matches and strive for 1st place." With their principal's approval, all the students left. Watching them go, the principal sighed and thought to himself, "These kids are still young and impulsive. They actually want to challenge the 3 top-tier schools?" Meanwhile, at Dragon Nation's Supreme Military Command, a meeting was in progress. A secretary informed the marshal, "The 100 Universities League is about to enter the top 4 finals and is expected to conclude in 2 days. Meanwhile, the military preparations for the counterattack against the myriad races are complete. Our forces are gathered at the front lines, ready to launch the counterattack at any moment." Hearing this, the marshal nodded and said, "Good. Once the 100 Universities League concludes, the counterattack against the myriad races will officially begin. All students must also go to the battlefield to fight." At his command, all military personnel stood up, saluted, and shouted in unison, "To avenge the tens of thousands of students and mentors who died, those who offend Dragon Nation, no matter how far, will be punished." The next morning at Modu Hotel, in Su-bai's room, he was practicing his martial arts using a book he had obtained from the library. Meanwhile, Little Turtle and Little Cat were happily eating the food Su-bai had gotten for them from the hotel's buffet. As Su-bai trained, he suddenly floated in midair, and a huge surge of energy burst forth from his body. It was the activation of his holy beast armament. Just as it activated, Su-bai unexpectedly swapped places with Little Turtle. In an instant, Su-bai appeared where Little Turtle had been eating, and Little Turtle fell onto the sofa where Su-bai had been floating. Su-bai was shocked and couldn't understand what had just happened. Suddenly, a system notification appeared. "Congratulations, Su-bai, you have successfully comprehended the Beast Tamer's exclusive talent skill, Transposition," the system explained. With this transposition skill, within a range of 1 kilometer, the beast tamer and their tamed beast can swap positions, ignoring all restrictions. Still in shock, Subai turned to Little Turtle, who looked even more stunned than he was. Subai thought to himself, "Just now, Little Turtle and I instantly swapped positions. What kind of skill is this?" But he didn't pay much attention to it, thinking, more skills won't hurt, and they might have unexpected effects on the battlefield. He picked up his bag and asked Little Turtle and Little Cat, "Let's go, we're going to challenge the 3 top-tier schools." Then he left for the competition. At the stadium, the host addressed the audience. After yesterday's intense battles, the 100 Universities League has finally entered the top 4 competition stage. She then introduced the first competing team, the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy. She explained, "The Great Wall Guardian Military Academy was originally a military base of the Great Wall Guardians, established in 1907. It was one of the first military bases erected on the Myriad Races battlefield. In its 94-year history, the Myriad Races have launched hundreds of campaigns against this academy, yet its students and mentors fought to the death, killing countless Myriad Race beasts and warriors. And today, it still stands tall. The motto of the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy is, 'As long as the Myriad Races exist, the Great Wall will never fall.' To this day, the strongest human, the only king-level expert, Mr. Ni Ching, serves as the honorary principal of the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy. This is also why even the strongest warriors of the Myriad Races dare not set foot in the Academy's territory." Just as the host finished speaking, king-level expert Ni Ching entered the stage with his students. The host continued, "As the strongest martial arts university in Dragon Nation and humanity's frontline barrier, the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy is truly unmatched." The entire audience erupted in amazement at the sight of the Academy's students and their formidable principal. A man in the audience exclaimed, "They say the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy is a city of heroes. Every student there is a hero." Another spectator standing beside him nodded and said, "Modem Martial University and Capital Martial University are already so strong, and the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy is even stronger. It's hard to imagine just how terrifying their strength must be." One spectator asked, "Did the host say the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy has only 5 team members? Don't they have substitutes?" A boy sitting beside him laughed and replied, "You're underestimating them. This is the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy. Do they even need substitutes?" Subai's perspective, watching the big screen, Subai's principal turned to him and said, "King-level expert Ni Ching is the bulwark of our human race. For Jiangzhou Martial University to fight against the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy is already an honor." Seeing the legendary king-level expert, Subai felt a surge of motivation, thinking, "When will I be able to become the bulwark of humanity like him?" Competition draw announcement. The host appeared on the big screen, announcing, "The top 4 competition is about to begin." She then revealed the draw results. First match, Great Wall Guardian Military Academy vs. Capital Martial University. Second match, Modu Martial University vs. Jiangzhou Martial University. Seeing the matchups, the captain of Modu Martial University frowned in annoyance and muttered, "This is so boring. We're up against Jiangzhou Martial University? Fighting such weaklings I can't even be bothered to make a move." A girl from their team mocked Jiangzhou Martial University, saying, "Our opponent is Jiangzhou Martial University? That trash? Winning against them won't even be glorious." Others from their team agreed, adding, "Jiangzhou Martial University is just a troublemaker. How do they even deserve to be in the top 4? A yellow-haired girl from their team turned to her captain and said, "Let me go this round. I'll take them all down in one go." The first match begins. While they were talking, the first match between Great Wall Guardian Military Academy and Capital Martial University began. The host addressed the audience. The first to take the stage for the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy is their captain, Han Zan, a Lord-level expert and the grandson of General Han Dang. The purple gold armor he wears is forged from diamond-level cores. She wondered who Capital Martial University would send to face him. As Han Zan entered the arena holding a huge spear blade, he challenged Wang Yang, the captain of Capital Martial University, saying, "Let's not waste time, let's settle this between us." He then asked Wang Yang, "Do you dare to fight me?" Seeing that Han Zan had directly challenged Wang Yang, the entire audience erupted in excitement, wondering, quote, "Are Capital Martial University and the Great Wall Guardian Military Academy starting with a king vs. king match?" Unquote. The crowd began chanting, demanding a king vs. king match. The king vs. king match? Hearing the audience's demand, a guy from Capital Martial University suddenly jumped into the arena. It was Wang Yang, the captain of Capital Martial University, also a spearblade user. As soon as he entered, he mocked Han Zan, saying, "Old Han, why make such a big deal out of this? I'm afraid you'll be a sore loser." The moment Wang Yang stepped into the arena, all the girls in the audience started cheering, shouting, "Wang Yang is our idol!" Su Bai's perspective. Watching the intense matchup, Su Bai's principal turned to him and said, "This match is heating up right from the start. Youth is truly wonderful." Hearing the girls cheer for Wang Yang, Su Bai frowned and asked his seniors, "Is Wang Yang really that handsome? I don't see it." Then he turned to his teammates and asked one of his seniors, Luol, "You go up first. Show the audience what we're made of." Shocked, Senior Luol hesitated and asked, "Can I really do it?" Back in the arena as they were talking, Han Zan took his position and challenged Wang Yang once again, saying, "Let's start. I'll let you make the first move."